Yo, no maniacs. Welcome into the show. This is Nomad at night with just me right now. I don't know where the Canuck is. He must be on Canadian time again, but that's okay, man. I'm enough. I'm enough. We got plenty to talk about. And I'm looking in the chat right now. Omar86 talking about the Pacers are getting their butts blown out right about now. No Diddy. Shout out to Omar86 and everybody I see in the chat. Black Diamond, number one up in here. First one up in here. Crimson Your Dig just busted up in here. Levante Rogers, what's happening? The Queen is up in here. Queen P, what's going on? So glad to see you guys here. Man, listen, this is let me just, before we get into talk about Bears, I'm gonna be about as human as we can be right now because, man, we always on one of these shows, whether it be Nomad at Night, some extra sauce, or whatever show we're doing, talking about being in shape and taking care of your body. And one of the things that I do all the time, and this time of the year, when it's early spring, the grass is green, like really green, and it's raining plenty. You're getting a pretty good spring right about now. Last couple of days it's been raining pretty good. And so, I keep my grass pretty tapered off, you know what I mean? But in the last couple of days, we're coming off probably about let me see. I haven't cut it in the last 7 to 8 days, maybe something like that. And so in that amount of time, with good rain, young grass, that stuff jumps up real fast. And so what I'm getting at is what I like to do is turn my any of my home maintenance activities into a workout. So I put on the sauna suit and everything. And then one of my cousins rolled up on me because it's kind of warm out there today. He rolled up on me. He's just like, man, fool, what's wrong with you? He said, what you doing all that hot ass shit on him, man? Hey, man, take some of that off, man. Don't cut. Why you didn't come out here early and cut the grass? He's just talking crazy to me. And I had to explain to him. I was like, dog, I know what I'm doing, man. I'm out here to get the sweat. That's the whole idea. I got to take care of the yard, number one. Number two, you got to make sure you get something out of it. You're going to sweat plenty while you're out there anyway, but really maximize that sweat. So that's what I do when I do home maintenance. I go out there and I put my stuff on, depending on how hot it is. I ain't crazy, but I go out there and I turn it into a great workout, man. But it's, this time of year, it's hard to get people to really want to do podcasts. We're sitting here with about a month and a half worth of downtime to, and you guys in the chat, keep on chatting away, man. I'm gonna get to some of the comments here in a minute. This time of year is really, really hard to, for the fan base, and not for me as a podcaster, but as a fan, because the lull, not having football really bothers me, man. You know what I mean? Not like chronic bothering me. I'm talking about, it's like I don't know what depression feels like, but this about as close as you can get to it. I'll really go through it waiting for football to start again. So all this time in between now and when they come back and start going through training camp, it's hard for me. It ain't hard to come up with conversation to do these podcasts. It's easy for me. You guys help make that easy, because you all are here. You all are wanting to have these conversations. And that's why I became a podcaster, because I love having these conversations. Whatever it is, whether it be up or down, good, bad, doesn't matter. Having you all as a community helps facilitate how I feel about it. Makes me want to do a little bit more. But yeah, man, it's doing at this part of the season, I got a lot of, personal responsibilities to take care of, and when you got property and all that kind of stuff. So you got to maintain that and just do maintenance of that. Then come and do podcasts. And also, man, listen, you guys are very, very generous all the time, man. And, it's important. I'm not going to be one of those podcasters that tell you that, oh, okay, this is just something I do on the side. It ain't important to me. Not at this network. It's important to every last one of us that we find ways to generate money, because it costs money every month to give you guys the content that you get every single solitary month. You all, shout out to everybody that just busted up in here. Junior, shout out to Junior. Ain't seen you in a while. Jojo Loco, let me see. Yeah, and yeah, I just want to mention that, man. It's important that you all know that. So when you have time, when it's available to you, and if you can, you should donate to a small channel like this one to keep us afloat. I'm asking, I'm not telling. Nobody has to even hit a like button around here, let alone subscribe or donate anything. I'm just asking to let you guys know at the end of every month, there's always bills to be paid. People like the shorts, people like the small, the teeny weeny content. We got that for you, but that also costs money. I'm just letting you guys know at the end of every month, we can use donations. Trust me when I tell you, I'm not too proud to tell you the truth. That's the truth. We can actually use the donations. I just wanted to put that out there. And also, just briefly, the Canuck just busted up in here. He's in the backstage getting himself together. But briefly, we will be putting this website out soon. I haven't connected with Kez this week, but I'm sure sometime in the next few days we'll be getting something together. Oh, there he is.
Speaking of which, what's up, y'all? I spent the better part of the day in there doing that, so we'll chop it up a little bit about that later on. Got some good work in there today, so a little bit more to be done, but I think the better part of it is just about done. So there's that. That's hey Patty,
Queen.
what's up, Patty? How you doing, Queen? Tell Junior we say what's up.
Shout out to Crimson too, man. He's hey, F that. I will. Please hit that like button and tell some MFers about this channel. Please do that. You should.
Like, share, subscribe. Do that right here for all the work that that the guy next to me puts in. Do the same thing for this guy right here. We are multi-streaming as per normal. Hey, man, there's Junior right there, man. Good to see you, Junior. Hey, Minister Charles. Jojo Loco's with us, too. Good to have all y'all rolling with us tonight on a Sunday night. We're going to chop it up. We're going to talk some Bears. And by all means, keep it lively. We would appreciate it if y'all give us a little bit of comments at the end of all of this, because that does help the algorithm move forward. But we do it out of love, and here we are one more time. It's Sunday night, time for Nomad at night. What are you saying, Nomad?
Hey, man. You know what? This is. I was just telling him before you popped in. This is a difficult part of the season for me. Not because we're content creators. It's easy for me to come on and do shows. I'll always have plenty to talk about and go around and around about, particular things about the Chicago Bears players and everything, system schemes, all that kind of stuff. I'm a bottomless pit of that. You know what I mean? I can do that. That's not the hard part. The hard part for me is no football. And I'm such an addict of this game. And like kids, I've said this many times, man. At a certain part in a month or two, I'm gonna go through some things. You know what I mean? Physically, spiritually, I'm gonna go through some things, and it's just the football player in my spirit. I feel it, like the atmosphere, like the environment smells. It's like something that comes over, and it just my homeboys will call me at the same time every single year and ask me. As soon as I pick up the phone, what up? You feeling it too? Yep, I'm feeling it. We all go through that. It's like the instinct and the drive to go out there and play that game that you love so much. And this is the best thing we could be doing right now for me. It's definitely the best thing I could be doing is taking that passion and pouring it into what we do over here on the channel, man. So I was just letting the guys know, man, letting the guys and the gals, Queen P, know, how passionate I am about this game and how serious I am about it. We have fun and cut up and have jokes and stuff on the channel, but I am serious about my Chicago Bears, man. And I had a funny dream last night, kids. You want to hear it? And I don't tell you all about too many dreams. And I have to say this, man. Typically, and don't quote me on this, I'm just telling you what happened in my dream. I have some pretty lucid dreams at times, bro. Some real lucid dreams. And this one, it doesn't happen often. It's just like I have a dream and remember it once every couple of months, every 2 or 3 months. Usually when I wake up that dream, it's a good dream, but I don't remember a whole lot of it when I get up. I don't know if that's just my weird ass or whatever it is, but this one was very, very vivid, man. And you know what happened, kids?
No clue, man.
The Chicago Bears made a huge trade in my dream.
Okay, what did they pull off?
I would just say it's an edge rusher. And it wasn't the edge rusher that you think.
Okay, so it was Myles Garrett.
Nope. Nope.
Wasn't Myles Garrett. Who's worthy of a trade? Myles Garrett, Trey Hendrickson. That's about the only two guys I'd be talking about. Who did you dream up?
It was Micah Parsons.
Okay, that's a close third, but that's just that's crazy. That's crazy. Maybe Flus don't like him over there. Maybe that's what it was. Flus didn't like him.
I don't know, but it was very, very vivid. And I was just like, hold on, man. And they haven't gotten the contract done. And a lot of people are saying, the whole thing about the market, what's going on with Trey Hendrickson, what's going on with Micah Parsons. One of these guys are going to break the bank, if not both. And it could reshape the edge rusher market. I mean, talk around the league is kind of saying that. But until he's inked in on paper for the Cowboys, phone calls could be made, bro. Phone calls could be made. If they made a move to try and get Micah Parsons, would you be upset about it? And it's going to cost us.
I don't know what to say here. You know what I mean? I don't know what to say with this one. Like,
I don't remember the terms, Crimson. I don't remember the terms. All I know is
Crimson, it's a dream. You know he wasn't dreaming about no dollars and cents terms contract. He just woke up and Micah Parsons was a Chicago Bear. And he was happy.
And you know what, kids? Typically when I have a dream like that, it's almost like, you ever hear that old saying, like, quiet your mind before you go to bed, or you end up dreaming about it. If it's something negative or something like that, somebody pissed you off, or you on a rampage about some shit, and get your mind quiet before you go to sleep, or it'll be in your subconscious when you dream, and it'll be bad. You know what I mean? I've heard stuff like that. This time I was doing anything but Chicago Bears thought at that particular time. I was making music, and I ended up going to sleep listening to some live Earth, Wind, and Fire concerts or something like that. Like Micah Parsons and the Chicago Bears were the furthest thing from my mind when I went to sleep. That's why it's particular to me, because usually I'll have a dream like that and I'll be watching and doing content, engaging in content before I go to bed. And I'll have a dream like that, but not this time. That came out of nowhere, bro.
Well, yeah, like I say, Crimson nailed it, because I'm all about, like, what's the terms, what's the money, how could this have been done? Who did we have to give up to make such a situation materialize? All of those things come into mind, and I can guarantee that Matt Eberflus was not like, hey, like, I hate this guy, he needs to go, and that was it. You know what I mean? So in whatever scenario you dreamed up, I'm sure we gave up just about everything to do this. That's all I can tell you, man. How else could we pull this off? We gave up, I don't know.
I ain't eating nothing, man.
We gave up Jalen Johnson. We gave up Montez Sweat. We gave up Cole Kmet. Everybody's gone, but we got Michael Parsons, and that looks good. So I don't know what to say.
Hey, so I probably should mention this, man. Like, I tell people this all the time, and people, I don't know if people believe me, but I've dreamed and it wasn't always so good. Like, I've had vivid dreams like that when I woke up that night. I mean, in the middle of the night, and call one of my homeboys and be like, "Hey, man, look, where you say you was about to go, don't go there, man. You tripping, man." And I told him the whole dream. He's like, "You tripping?" And then whoop de whoop, things happen, and he ain't come back. And so that's happened over and over and over and over again in my life. Really good stuff, really bad stuff. But when I have vivid, lucid dreams like that, they tend to come true. And I'm not saying that we're going to end up with Micah Parsons, but I'm just saying, don't be surprised. That was real in my dream. I went from where I am right now and just kind of I'm a little trepidatious about this whole thing. I want to get excited, but I know that you got to go play football and you got to go prove it, and everything is new. And so I'm not ready to jump over that broomstick and go hallelujah yet. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
So
do, because
in this dream, I went there once we got that guy.
I'm gonna ask you for the lotto numbers next. See if you got that.
Hey, I've been waiting for that dream my whole life.
I'm just trying to say, I don't know what to take. I don't know how to take any of this. If he becomes a Chicago Bear, that'd be crazy. But one more time, like we don't have that kind of money. We're trying to get a running back right now. We definitely need an edge. Like I think oh man, I'm in a weird spot right now with all this because like when Ben Johnson comes out and he says, "Hey, like you know who stood out?" And it's a guy we've been expecting to be bounced out of the team off the bench, bounce passed off the bench, and yeah, that was kind of surprising, which leads me to think, that means the guy you paid a bunch of money to ain't shining out there. I don't like that.
Hey, bear with me. I've had that dream, and it's been a while, man. But that is to me, that's like my purpose on the planet.
Bear with me.
My purpose on the planet is to see that happen. Is to see that happen. He said, "I had a dream that all mankind will one day stand together." It's three I had together. I had dreamed that black boys and black girls would love each other. That is the goal of my existence, man. But not just black people, and we need to take care of each other first, no doubt about it. But I want to see myself in a kaleidoscope of people, and everybody be okay with each other, completely okay with each other, and loving each other. That's my goal and my dream, to be in amongst a kaleidoscope of people from different ethnicities, different parts of the world, wherever it is. Everybody looks different, but love each other all the same. The love is the through line in it all. Kids are like, he likes to make a joke, call me Black Jesus. I feel like that sometimes. I really do, man. In my heart and spirit, I really feel like that.
Only when you're gardening, brother. Only when you're gardening.
I'm like that all the time, man.
I'm all about all of that too. There's a way that all that can happen. It's one, like, people are stupid. I hate to say dumb stuff, but they are. Once everybody figures out who's running the show and they realize that they aren't running the show, that's one great reason to unify. So without getting too deep and crazy into it, great reason to unify.
Yeah, I do believe, and this is not political whatsoever, but I do believe, I've always believed this in my life, that through great calamity, great struggle, great strife, comes great things. The returns are, I think what's happening in the world right now, the world's climate, I think is setting us up for lots of turmoil, like unbelievable, unforgivable types of turmoil and actions. But I think once we make it through this, which I know we will, we make it through this, we're gonna be better. I know that. And it's just like I've learned this through the process of life. Through sports taught me this. You know what I mean? You got to struggle first. You got to struggle your ass off. I mean, crying, tears, blood, all that stuff. You go through all that to get to where you want to go, right? And I've taken that philosophy throughout my life. I don't mind struggling. Struggle is normal for me. You know what I mean? I grew up struggling. And so I say that, and I look at the world that way. I think we have to struggle. I guess we got to fight each other and get into it with each other and have these battles and confrontations in order to get to a place where we be all right with each other. And I believe that's what's happening right now.
Like I say, I don't know if I believe that. I believe that's division. I believe that the struggles that we have between each other is division. I think there's a unifying factor out there. King George, I'm with you, brother. He says, great dream, but it won't happen until evil has run its course. And I'm going to give you one of my favorite quotes from Spaceballs, the movie, and it goes a little something like this. Evil will always triumph over good because good is dumb. And that's That's why I said stupid a little bit earlier on. It's like exactly that. Until we smarten up as people,
Did you
and
say good is dumb?
that's the quote. Evil will always triumph over good because good is dumb. That's
No,
the quote.
that's not truth.
I'm not saying it's true, but it's a quote.
It's-
And it's something to take note of. It is something to take note of. It is something to take note of.
All right, man. Well, this is well, shout out to the Harriers Bear Goots has just busted up in this piece. He said he's been working steady with no breaks. I hear you, bro. Kids too. Hey, that's why you do it, Gooch. That's why you do it. Keeping the steady flow, always keeping something coming in so you can take care of, they don't know, why you do it until they get in the position where you in, until they have to go and do it for them and theirs. They don't understand that until they get to that point. They'll never understand it. You're lucky if you got a kid in that house that has a sense of what it means to earn a dollar. You're lucky. But most of them don't get it until they have to get it, but that's life.
Ron Winarski, man. Holy smokes. You got 5, man? Jeez,
Oh,
Ron.
man.
This reminds me of Total Recall. Benny from Total Recall. I don't know if y'all remember the movie Total Recall with Arnold Schwarzenegger, but there's this one cat named Benny. He's a taxi driver. And as he goes through the movie, the number of kids he has just keeps getting higher until finally, like, Arnold Schwarzenegger's like, yo, man, like, how many kids you got, Benny? And he's like, oh, man, I ain't got no kids. And Benny was just fronting. Anyhow.
All right, so Joseph just came with he said, good evening, Nomad and crew. He said, so after the fiasco of last year, I called anyone interested in my predictions. You know what, Joseph? Man, this is the Nomad Network. Everybody's free to their opinions and their predictions, bro. So bless us with it.
Joseph Matusak, I haven't seen you floating around in a minute, man. Joseph,
I'm glad to see you out here, man. So bless us with it, man. Good or bad, doesn't matter. We come here to chop it up, and however, it'll be what it is.
I hope it's optimistic. I hope it isn't.
Don't put nothing in his head. Let him speak his mind.
He's got his prediction. He knows what it is. I'm just hoping I'm hoping for good things. You know what I'm saying? I'm hoping for good things.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at. But I could barely watch last year's tape. It just made me miserable, Jets. I'm like, bro, Joseph, we watched every single game right here live on YouTube together, me and this man. And sometimes we had to we would under normal pretenses, we would do a post-game show. But man, there's some times where we had to just debrief, me and him, and just kind of yell at each other for about 45 minutes to an hour just to get it off our chest.
You know what's bad about it, kids, is we didn't get a chance. We had to do that live.
Yeah.
We had to do that live. And that's the problem with it. You all are at home and, you're amongst family or whoever. And we had to do that live, sort through our emotions, try to get settled down and be some kind of, I don't know what to call it, be some kind of goddamn, it was hard though, man.
It was tough.
It was hard. He said he could barely watch last year's tape. It just made me miserable, gents.
Yeah.
I had to go through that tape, Joseph, to get to the content that we created from then to now. You know what I mean? I had to sort through all that tape. So I know exactly what you mean, bro. Exactly what you mean. It's hard to watch sometimes. Let me see. What is he saying? He said, this season, I see 2 paths so far, all based on challenges they face early. But this coach is either going to bring the needed discipline and pride, or he breaks them and drives them away. You know what? Most of what we're going to be talking about tonight is kind of where you're at. We're going to talk about some schedule because I think it's a good time to go take another look at that. Some things and by the way, Levante broke some news for all the people who wanted Nick Chubb, and I'm one of them. He went to the Texans. That's Levante. Levante says they went to the Texans, and I believe him. I mean, the Texans are on a Super Bowl. They're charting the Super Bowl course.
Man,
that's what you do that.
they got a whole bunch. Like they need a running back like they need a kick in the leg. Like, you know what I mean? Like
Oh, they don't. No, they need that, man, because I don't think Damian Pierce is going to be there. I don't
I
think
think
they're
I
depending
think
on 28 for a whole season, kids, and they need a backup.
I thought they re-signed Damian Pierce. I thought they re-signed him.
If they did, I didn't hear about it.
I'm gonna verify that for us right now. I thought that they re-signed Damian Pierce because I was interested. If he's on the market, I'm still interested. I don't care. I think he's a fantastic
He's
back.
only like 25 years
He's
old.
super young, man. He's super young. He's got all kinds of juice left in the tank, but he got hurt the one season, and when he got hurt it was late in the season, hurt their prospects. They went out and got Mixon and paid big money for Mixon, and Mixon just don't stop. You know what I mean? Mixon is crazy. So, now you stack on Nick Chubb on top of that. Do they really need a Nick Chubb on top of that? I don't know.
I think so. When you think you're going to be deep
Oh,
into, if you
I
think
know,
you're going to be in the December, January, you need to you need to thicken that roster. And Nick Chubb, he's the kind of running back that he can gallop your ass right into a Super Bowl if you got a good enough team. And if his number is called, he's that kind of running back. But let's get to Joseph. Joseph is he's putting his heart and soul out. He said, but I do like so far how Ben Johnson is going about setting the culture, expectations, and room for growth and intellectual expansion per role. I love the way he put that because there's a lot to what he just said there. I'm gonna read it one more time. He said, but I do like so far how Ben Johnson is going about setting the culture, expectations, and room for growth and intellectual expansion per role. That last part of what he said, intellectual expansion per role, that's got some dexterity to it, because it's all the stuff that we've been talking about over here on the network and then on the channel, especially offensively. Offensively, he's not gonna, like, we see Luther Burden as a slot receiver. We see this person as a X or Z. Those guys are gonna have to learn each other's position and not be comfortable just playing this one role, and that's all you know. The challenge, just like Joseph said, is we're gonna ask you to know more, ask you to do more. You need to know his job. You need to know his job, what this blocking set up. What is this play designed to do, kids? What is this play designed to do? Why are we asking you to go out and block and maintain your block on this play if it's coming to the left side? I need you to hold this for at least 3 seconds. I need you to hold this block for 3 seconds. Intellectually, I'm not a blocker. I'm a receiver. This is why we have to ask you to do it. So that's what Joseph is saying. He's going to challenge those people, every last one of them, to understand why we're asking you to do these things.
And Joseph, because of that, this is why I don't think he loses the team. All right? I don't think he breaks them. I don't think he loses them. I don't think either one of those things happen for a few reasons. First few is just how much bloody cash they're paying this guy as a coach. Like, they're paying him ridiculous money. So, in my opinion, he kind of has the next 4 or 5 years to do what he needs to do to right the ship. And what he's doing to right the ship is really exactly what you just said. He's paying attention to the details, and he's making sure that those details are understood by each player in his position and why, right? Like, that's what he's doing. Now, Ben Johnson is what I would consider a genius level is what I would consider a genius level at the psychology of each football play. It's why he can seemingly coach any position. Like, this is a great way of putting it. And
he's growing on me. I mean, the guy is growing on me because I'm starting to see why. Go ahead, kids. But I got a lot.
Yeah, he's going to be able to sort of get into the heads of each player on offense and say, look, here is the reason. You know what? Like, wow. So you remember how Matt Nagy was trying to find the whys? He actually knows the whys, and he can explain the whys at a positional level to everybody on the team, so they know what they're doing and what the purpose of what they're doing is. These are the little details that we were missing. A, with Matt Nagy, he was looking for the whys. B, with Matt Eberflus, he never knew the whys even existed. He was on the other side of the ball. So I appreciate what he's doing with these guys, and like I say, I don't think he's going to break them. He might break a couple of them, though. All right, so like I'm going to be very specific, and you guys can hate me for doing it later. Maybe he breaks a quarterback. Maybe. And I'm hoping for all heck that he doesn't. As far as all reports go, this week was a pretty decent week for the offense.
Before you go all the way there, I want to really go into what Joseph is saying, talking about the level of coaching. I saw him he was on a podcast today with that cat from Barstool Sports. I forget his Big Cat, I think is his name.
Yeah.
He was on there with him and another cat with a goddamn mullet, a crazy looking motherfucker with it. Looked like a goddamn porno star with a fucking Trans Am in the 70s or something. Weird looking motherfucker. But I think that's the idea, to be weird looking. Anyway, he's on there and I'm listening to him talk. And they asked him a question that kind of went down the lines of what we're talking about right now. And so much of football, when you become a tape consumer, once you start studying the tape, and you see certain things when you're live on the field, and more and more you're playing that game, you start detecting some tendencies, but you really, really can see it. I mean, after the game, it's like, damn, I noticed this safety kept sneaking up whenever he saw this formation, and he would kind of tilt this way. Different little nuanced things that happen during the game. I think he's got the kind of mind that takes tendencies and exploits them. He looks for the consistencies of those tendencies. So if a team is constantly showing him on 1st and 10, they're showing him they're sneaking, 8 guys in the box and they're using a particular player. Let's just say they use a strong safety and put the strong safety in the box, right? They're using him. And if he sees that tendency, he's going to play on that. Okay, 1st and 10, you're going to sneak if we go out with 12 personnel, you're going to sneak the safety down. Okay, we got to play for that. That's the kind of gamesmanship you have to have. I think all the really, really good coaches are really, really avid thinkers. And I think he's coming across to me as one of those people who's he predicts things. And I think as game goes on, I think he gets better during the game. It's not very complicated what he does, but when he calls something is more important than what he calls, when he calls it. You know what I mean? It's like at the right time, give me a double reverse with the left tackle pass down the field. You know what I mean? That kind of stuff. So I'm starting to dig that guy as far as his mind goes. Now, when it comes to the football game and the management of the team and the players and getting everybody to buy in and what he does when the situation is pressurized, we're going to find out. And so that's what I'm looking forward to. He's going to have to earn my trust just like everybody else has to. You know what I mean?
I do, and it's literally what Joseph is sort of getting into now. So I'll read Joseph's last two.
You got to put it up, man.
I will. So here's Joseph's first comment. Ben Johnson knows the whys, and he explains the whys in a very individual level of the greater system. Like he seems to understand how to mess with a team's natural pace. He can see the aura of a game. My biggest question is also why I see 2 clear paths this team could take. I do not know Ben Johnson's true head coaching pace over the course of a season. Will he burn him down or know when to massage and pace? And like, couldn't have said it better myself. The stuff that's going to scare us, and you kind of have to look at his tenure with the Lions a little bit to really, to have it put in your face, right? There were, the Lions playoff games were a little shaky, right? Like there's situations where he decided not to run the ball, or he called some questionable plays, and even in the game against us, that Penei Sewell pass trickery was not well timed. You know what I mean? Like he's aggressive to a fault sometimes. He's aggressive to just to be the thorn in the side of the team that he's playing against sometimes. And like, just to a certain degree, I can appreciate that, although it could cost us a game here and there, right? Like, these are the little head coaching gaffes that we're going to come into over the course of at least this year, if not the next 2 years, with this young man stepping into this head coaching role. But heck, like, if I can experience some viable offense in Chicago, I'll live with the gaffes.
Hey man, listen, I'll tell you guys right now. Ben Johnson is on a journey, and it's a journey of growth. It's a journey of owning the responsibilities that he has right now that are different than being an offensive coordinator. Man is going to fuck up sometimes. He's going to fuck up. He's going to fuck up, and it's going to be, things that happens during games. It's going to be things in practice. He's going to rub some people the wrong way, and we might, that I think what he's going to learn, and somebody I think it was Joseph mentioned that, how to knowing when to do something. You know what I mean? He's a great schemer and a great play caller. I love the way he calls and scripts out plays. But how you manage guys, and each and every one of those guys are different. Situations will come about. How he addresses those things is going to either ingratiate him with the team and the key players that he has, or the rest of them, as a matter of fact, or it's gonna not be so good, and he's gonna have to learn hard and on the fly. That's what's gonna happen. He's gonna learn a lot of stuff right there on the fly. It's a good thing that he got Dennis Allen there, who just went through that, and he's gonna need him. He's gonna need him. I mean, there's gonna be things that come up, and he might overreact to a particular player, and somebody might pull his collar. Hey man, you might have did a little too much there. You might have just. Why don't you call him into the office and have an individual talk with him? I don't think you needed to bust his ass right there on the field in front of everybody. He's a vet. Should have just called him into you. Stuff like that. Little things like that. That's gonna happen.
Well, I hope that doesn't really transpire. You know what I mean? Like it's going down in practice, and in practice it's not in a public forum with cameras on you all the whole time. So I can respect that. But hopefully that type of stuff does not take place on the sideline in the middle of a game. I think he can control himself. The Scrolls makes a really good point down there too, just sort of saying that he's going to definitely learn how annoying Chicago media can be. I think he's already learning it. I am going to say,
and Scrolls, he's definitely in honeymoon phase right now, just so you know.
Maybe, but he's doing this. He's doing stuff the right way.
Yeah, he's doing it right, but he's definitely in honeymoon phase. He's undefeated as a coach.
Well, there's a reason why he's undefeated, right? The reason why he's undefeated is that he's actually he's at the point where he doesn't have to lie about anything. And this is really where he is. He's not in protect mode. He is able to actually just be, Caleb was late. Nobody had the balls to say that shit for the last two years or whatever it is. Justin was late. Caleb was late. I can come out there and actually just say that stuff to people because, like, I ain't got nothing to protect. If we come into the season and he's still late, I told you that's where we're working on it. It's a work in progress. We'll get there.
Why is everybody on Courtney Cronin's helmet so tough right about now? I've been noticing that. Like,
she's been a little bit raw. No, she's been a little bit raw. Like, let's. It's not, and like, don't get me wrong. I actually kind of appreciate her lines of questioning. I do, but she's been a little bit raw. She's been a little bit, she's been getting in Ben's craw a little bit about certain things. Couple of very interesting questions that I won't really.
Like what, man? You gotta give me something.
I won't because I don't really want to. I'm not trying to throw her under the bus or anything to that effect. I think she does a fantastic job. You know what I mean? I think she does a fantastic job. I think she's very pointed with her lines of questioning, and I can see how it might get, it might be annoying to a Ben Johnson and or some of the fans out there.
Well, okay. Scroll says she asked Burden why he didn't. I think he was trying to say she literally asked Burden why he didn't enter the draft his sophomore season. I asked all the kids that I then trained and the guys. I'm like, dude, they moms and dads get mad at me when I tell them like, why are you trying to force your kid to stay for 4 years? You know what he's going to do to his body in 4 years in college? And shout out to the NCAA and actually the federal court of the United States that passed a bill that's going to allow college football players to get paid outright from the school. A $2 billion you know class action suit that's going to open the floodgates that college players are now get paid. My mother told me a long time ago, boy, you was born too early. And I know that's the truth now, man, because I'd have got paid like a motherfucker if I would have. If I was born in this era, oh my God. But I'm happy for them guys. I've been waiting for this my whole life. I've been waiting. I'm not gonna be one of them dudes that ain't playing no more and be hating on them kids. I'm happy for them. They should get money. If you've seen what those kids go through in a day, you know they deserve money. Trust me when I tell you. So shout out to all the NCAA and the actual federal court system, man. That was beautiful.
So I'll finish off with Joseph here, and he's just saying, I know Ben Johnson heeded Campbell's pace. Campbell and Ben Johnson said so long before he came to the Bears. So I'd like to see his course pace, not just each hole, if we use the golf term. So he's basically saying, you know what I mean? He wants to see him as a head coach and how he just makes his decisions by way of head coaching, just along the same lines of what you were describing there. I'm very happy that we have a sounding board in DA. I think that's great. That's going to go a super long way for Ben Johnson, and hopefully it all shakes out well. I think it's going to bode very well. But the facts are, to me, it's really, when you're talking about breaking a guy, you break Cole Kmet, we got a backup, we're good. You break any one of the wide receivers, we're pretty well deep at the wide receiver position. Doubtful he's going to break anybody on the offensive line. It's really only one guy that worries me with respect to the head coach potentially breaking him. And right now, I think he's stepping up to the plate really well.
We'll get into some particulars about that conversation in a little bit here, but Rex Gray, shout out to Rex Gray that just busted up in his piece. He says, hey guys, quick question. What about the Bears moving to the north side by the Cubs? I don't see that happening. I don't know that there could be some talk about that going on that I don't know about, Rex, but that's just in my purview. I don't see it.
So I'll touch on it just a little bit. So my understanding of this situation is that in order to do that, the Bears are going to be looking at public money. I'm going to raise y'all taxes, and ain't nobody want to pay more taxes.
There's no appetite for that.
You know what I'm saying? Nobody's really trying to eat taxes for the McCaskey family to get richer. And this is where things go a little bit sideways.
I was just about to say that, Scrolls, because it's a little tight up there.
Yeah.
It's a little tight up
there. I don't know where you park either, right? Where do you park?
Yeah, it's tight up. It's tight up. But the north side is I ain't gonna tell you no lie and tell you that I've been up there a lot of times. I haven't, man. When I go up there, I'm bar crawling and shit, and it's a lot going on up there on the north side, and it's getting busier and busier more and more, especially after the Cubs. They put some money into the north side some years ago, and like stuff is just blooming and blossoming all over the north side. I don't see, like, how many businesses might be affected or not be there if the I don't see it, man. I just don't see the Bears going to the north side. The north side would be freaking Arlington.
Shit. Yeah. How far out is Arlington? What, like 40 minutes from downtown?
That's a good question. I don't know, man. That probably cost you about a good hour.
Good hour?
Maybe about 40 minutes, 45 minutes, somewhere. If you get tight in traffic or something like that, it might get a little bad for you. But yeah, Scrolls about 40 minutes. Okay. You might cost you an hour depending on when you hit that thing.
All right. It's not the end of the world, but like Levante just blew it up in the chat. He's like, no, let's go to here he is. No, let's go to Arlington Heights where we can start holding major events like WrestleMania. And like that's really what it's about. You need
really. It's about all the different.
They need to be making money. Like, so you shut that thing down in the winter. You know what I mean? They need to be making money year round. Something like WrestleMania would allow them to make big money. Concerts, etc. Cirque du Soleil, I don't know. That's money, y'all. You know what I'm saying? That's money that Soldier Field unfortunately just can't offer. A, the city of Chicago, and B, the McCaskey family. So that's really what that's about.
No, the Richard Long says the city could leverage that lease buyout for a piece of the stadium complex in Arlington. Man, it's so many moving parts. Yeah, it is. It's so many interesting. Like Chicago is not. It's not Wyoming, man. It's not freaking Pine Bluff, Arkansas. It's Chicago. Lots of moving parts. In order to get somebody to agree to do something, you know how many hands that need to be greased, and how many. It's just so many things. And when it comes to state money, right about now, there is no such thing as money getting shoveled out to the Bears to open up to start a new. That is not gonna happen. They pay for this stadium. They're gonna have to find an outside money source to really get to where they want to get to. And there's plenty of money out there. It just ain't gonna come from the city of Chicago, which is what billionaires are used to doing, bilking the state for money. It ain't gonna happen in this case.
So, but like, it ain't like they're not a $1 billion organization. This is where there's really no appetite for this. You know what I mean? Like, they got $1 billion at least. Nobody spends anything. You go and leverage it. That's what you do. You don't spend it. You leverage it. You go borrow money. Hey, I got $1 billion. Odds are, I'll be able to pay this loan. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what you do. You go to the bank and you get some more money. You go to other people. You wheel and deal. You get some more money and you start to build stuff. Build a hotel first. Make some money. Build. You know what I mean? Build a casino. Make some money.
I'm like Crimson. It was always going to be Arlington Heights. They had to shake the tree elsewhere to see what they can, what comes off that thing, man. Might be some couple of rolls of money come off that thing, but this time it didn't happen. It's time to go ahead and make the hard choice, and I believe they're trying to.
So you know what this is, though, right?
Trying to shake the state down.
You know this. Wow, you know what this is, though, right? Like what this is. Like Kevin Warren. Like, real talk. I wish I sent a resume in because I know exactly what's going on. Kevin Warren's a friggin' genius. He's a smart businessman at the end of the day, and I'm also a smart businessman. So what's basically going down is he's already positioned downtown versus Arlington and brought numbers down and got to a successful situation with them. But now there's new blood running Arlington. There's a new mayor in there. He doesn't know this guy. That guy doesn't have to honor any of the contractual conversations that they were having before. So he's got to start a little bit again and make it so that guy follows suit and potentially drops his pants lower than the previous guy.
Kids, it's not even
leverage.
It's not even complicated. When it came to kind of leaning on the state for money, and or the city of Chicago. Both. If you wanted to actually build that stadium here, you had to entertain that thought, right? And so how do you do that? Can you imagine coming to your house? You walked in the middle of the night. You just came from a night out with your boys. It's the middle of the night. Your girl's gone out of town. You're there by yourself. The kids are gone, and you come in your house and you flick on the light, and there's Kevin Warren sitting in your lazy boy, and some goons in the living room. Like, that level of shit goes on around here. Like, hey, we need you to, it's a couple of guys in the state capitol. We need your influence down there to get this thing passed. The kind of shit that goes on around here in real life, the shit you see on movies, that's real around here. It was never going to happen on the state level for the Bears.
But this I know, but this is exactly what this is. They just need to front like it is. You know what I'm saying? It's just fronting. Oh yeah, hey, we're going downtown. It looks beautiful. Let's get a beautiful rendition built up. Looks dope. There's no parking lot, but it looks dope. I'm saying it's just leverage, bro. It's a negotiation tactic. Kevin Warren is a G. I give him a big
Ain't that
thumbs
much
up.
of a G. He a G in somewhere else. He ain't no G in Chicago.
Hey man,
Ain't
bro,
no G here.
business is a different move. It's a different move. You don't have to strong arm. You have to negotiate and posture and pose, and that's what he's doing.
Got to
He's
get this shit through
posturing.
the state house, man, and the state house is a whole other animal, man. You
You nailed it though, Nomad. You nailed it. He ain't gonna win there. He can't win there. Nobody wants to pay for the McCaskies to get richer. Nobody wants to do that. Even me. I'm a Bears fan from Canada, and I'm kind of sick of buying these bloody jerseys and they keep trading people away. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, that's a whole other story. At the end of the day, they're not going to get public money. But if they can front like they're getting public money, they're going to front. They're going to do everything. They'll put up a website. They've been did it. And put up a website about the new stadium right next door to the Cubs on the north side. It looks dope. There's no parking anywhere for anyone, but it looks dope.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, it's gonna make the folks in Arlington go, wait a minute, are the Bears going downtown? Are they going to the north side? Oh snap! Well, maybe we should go back to the negotiating table.
Kids, you have no idea.
Shaking that tree, baby.
You have no idea how much I'm looking forward to an actual completion of the initial project. The initial project is going to be a stadium, facilities, and it's going to be a few things that come with it as they're building the stadium. So it's going to be a few hotels. It's going to be some kind of entertainment. It's going to be some stuff that comes along with that initial.
It'll be dope.
But as we go along and move on into the future, it's the way they'll develop around that. I think Chicago has a chance to really, really make a statement to not only the United States, but the world and what they can do around that place. It's just, if you, like, I've been through Arlington. I've never like went and, hey, I got somebody in Arlington, I'm finna go. No, I never hung out in Arlington. I don't know too many people that have, unless you're from that area. But motherfuckers like me, I ain't never been there. You know what I mean? Not to hang out, but I've been through there and I can see like there's a lot of space there. You know what I mean? You just got to be willing to, do what you have to do to get what you need to get. But that thing is going to become such a dynamic property in so many different ways. I cannot wait to visit there. And it ain't got to be for no Bears football game. I doubt if I go to a game. I want to go do the other shit around it.
Well, that's what it is. You make it a whole thing. You make it a whole thing. Like I'm telling you, casino, stadium, I don't know, laser tag. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know. Paintball. You do the whole shebang out there, and if you build it, they will come.
Yeah.
I feel the dreams quote for y'all. Look at that.
All right, let's talk about some particular, because I can go on about this, man, because I actually picture some of this stuff and what might come along with a new Bear Stadium.
Oh, Hall of Fame museum, like Crimson's talking it up. Strip club, baby, of course. Like
all that's coming with it. That can be dynamic as hell, man. Really dynamic. But let's get to some particular football, and let me just jump right on this. So the Bears have another OTAs coming up for the younger guys, the rookies, and the younger players on the team. And Caleb's a second-year player. I'm just gonna ask you straight out, and I'll tell you my thoughts afterward. No, I'll just tell you right off the top. Should Caleb Williams be a part of this OTA session? They have a total of 6 weeks, I believe. I think it's a month and a half, 6 weeks of vacation time. This is only going to last a week. Should Caleb be inside the building getting some extra reps here?
Yeah. That's a real simple one for me if you're asking me. Hell yeah. F yeah. Like all and you name it, followed by yeah. So he should definitely be there. He should be a part of that gathering. The only thing that matters, as far as I'm concerned right now, is that he's in lockstep with Ben Johnson, lockstep with that scheme, what Ben Johnson wants to do. He's practicing that like, like you wouldn't believe, as well as building rapport with his wide receiver group. And especially considering that Luther Burden didn't have, I don't think he was a part of the original OTAs because he was injured, but I believe he's going to be part of this this youth version of it. So I think it's a great idea for him to be out there with Luther and again trying to build some level of rapport with him.
Hey kids, there's zero doubt in my mind, and this ain't no, me trying to yell at Caleb or chastise Caleb. I don't know exactly. I hope he's there, but I know this at this point, everything being so new, pieces being so new, but more importantly, the system being so new, and getting the verbiage down, and whatever he could be doing within a week, he should jump at that opportunity. Make sure he's the first one there in the building, because every single second that ticks by that he could be learning this stuff and getting ahead of the game and kind of just, when it comes to offense and installs and all that kind of stuff, that's one thing, but just learning the system, being around the coaches and trying to get a grasp of what they're trying to do. Once you got a grasp of it, and the more and more you kind of go over it in your head, or the more and more you go through reps, the reps are the most important thing. And you go through the mistakes. You got a week to go through those mistakes and then correct them. That's just another notch in your belt. No question about it. There is Caleb Williams. There's nothing else going on in the world unless there's a death in the family, in my opinion. There's absolutely no reason why he shouldn't be there. In my opinion, if it was me, I'm there 4:30 in the morning before the damn place opens up. I have to be, because he's got enormous pressure on him right about now. And so does the head coach.
It's so Joseph, man. Joseph, you're nailing it in the chat, man. So
put it up.
I'm just not sure which one to start. We'll start with his first one here, but he says, yes, Caleb should be structuring his day so he's never 30 minutes from doing either physical training, live training, or playbook learning. But the second part is really what resonated with me. Caleb should be aspiring to know enough of the book that he can make Ben Johnson scratch his head a bit. And like, it's so funny you said that, and I'll give you like a little silly life story for me. So I was working for this company, and my boss got let go. My boss at the time was the best boss I'd ever had. Like, up to now, probably the best boss I've ever had. So he got let go, and a new guy comes in, and the new guy used to work at Salesforce. I'm sure many of you have worked with Salesforce in some capacity over the years. All right. So this guy comes into the company I'm working for, and he's like, all right, so I'm going to basically change all y'all roles, and now you guys are going to be the Salesforce administrators. And the guys on my team and there's 5 of us, we're basically what you would call pre-sales engineers for a telecommunications company. Without getting into really what we were doing, long story short, he just changed our jobs to do something completely different. And we have no clue how to do what he's asking us to do. So we stop. We have a big meeting with this guy. And we're like, look, how do we do this? We don't know how to do this. He goes, oh, okay. I was like, so maybe you should take some time and train us. You're a Salesforce guy. You know Salesforce. And he goes, oh, okay, cool. No worries. We're having a meeting on Monday. You guys should all be on the meeting. And we have the meeting on Monday. Monday rolls around. This meeting lasts 10 minutes max. He jumps on the meeting. He's like, all right, good to see you guys. Hope you guys had a good weekend. All right, we're going to open up together. We're all going to open up Salesforce.com and look in the upper right-hand corner. In the upper right-hand corner, there's a link. If you click on it, it says help. And in the help, it'll give you everything that you need to know. All right, I got bigger fish to fry. I'm out. So this guy points us to the help link in Salesforce.com. And he's like, you can learn everything you need to know. That's my training. I'm out. And he bails. This is my new boss. Hate the new boss. All right. But straight up, in the end, I went through every possible portion of that help link. I learned every possible thing I could learn about Salesforce.com strictly to get in his ass. That's the only reason I did it. I came back with questions that he was like, I have no idea how to do that. Oh, well, here's how you do it. You know what I mean? Let me show you how it's done in Salesforce, you jerk. this is where Caleb needs to get to. He needs to get to the level where he overstands what Ben Johnson's trying to put down, so that maybe they can have a tete-a-tete and be like, no, it should be this way versus that way. I would love to see that.
First time I've heard
you
the
gotta
word.
get there though. Tete-a-tete.
First time I've heard the word being said on this show, but perfectly said, kids. Overstanding the situation.
Yeah.
Overstanding the situation is the prime. Everything you said, you just touched the nerve because it made you think of some stuff and got you where you just got to. But overstanding the situation, that's where I'm coming from. And I'm so eager for him to, and I don't know if the right word is eager, but I'm concerned that he might, if he doesn't take this serious enough, which I think he is. Everything I'm hearing outside the house, he's taking it serious enough. But when I say serious enough, like they've got a 6-week vacation. Like I'm gonna ask you guys, No Maniacs, Super No Maniacs, and you two kids. Like if it was you, how much of that time would you actually take vacation? If it's me, I'm just gonna put my shit right on out there right now. I'm taking a solid goddamn week, and I bet you if I'm allotting myself that week to do absolutely nothing but have a good time, I'm guaranteed I'm gonna be done having that good time in about 3 days, and I'm gonna get busy. I'm gonna go grab some receivers from USC, and we're gonna have some throwing session because even though I might want to get to work and work on some of the stuff that we have in the playbook, I know Rome, DJ they're gonna actually be on real vacation. They don't have as much pressure on them as I do, and I'm thinking as Caleb. And so I'm gonna grab some USC receivers. I'm gonna grab some Arizona State receivers. Whoever is in my jurisdiction, hey, meet me out here. I'll give y'all some money. Just come out here. We're gonna throw this ball. I need about an hour and a half out of y'all. I'm doing that shit every fucking day. I'm taking a solid week if I can, and I'm getting back to work. That's what I'm doing.
So I would do it a little bit different. I think you take the vacation. No. But what you do, follow me though. Wait now, follow me, man. What you do is you go in that locker room and you're like, hey, where are you going? Where are you going? Let's all go. You know what I'm saying? Like you plan it. I got a travel agent on deck. Where y'all want to go? We're gonna go together. We're gonna kick it together. We are going to party together, and we're going to practice as often as we can together. Bring the family. Y'all got money. I got money.
You can do that.
You know what I mean? I'm throwing money at it too, and let's all do this thing as a collective, as a group. I need to get closer to you. I need to get closer to your family so you trust me and I trust you, and let's get out on the field, throw a barbecue it up. Hell, I'll bring caterers, you know what I mean? Bring caterers, they'll do the food situation, bouncy castles for the kids. You do the whole 9 yards. That's what I would do. Like right now, hey, yo, what's cracking in the locker room? Where y'all going for the next 6 weeks? Because ain't like there's a shortage of money in the room. Let's do this thing together. Let's build it.
Kids, to pony on what you said, I can remember going into my sophomore season. I can remember going into my sophomore season. I came to the house, you know, we partied. We kicked it, man. You know, everybody wanted to celebrate. And so exactly what you're saying, you put that into the mix. You know, hey man, I'm finna go hard for 3 weeks before I go back to school. I need 3 weeks. Man, I need some people out here, man. No, dog, I gotta work. I gotta do this. I gotta do that. I was like, dog. I said, I had beer and coolers. And this is just as a college player. I didn't have no fucking money. I got beer and coolers. I got chicks waiting at my homeboy's crib. You know what I mean? Waiting to party. As soon as we get over there and get done, we get done working out. We go take a shower. And we meet at my homie's crib. And so I had to do all that just to get the work that I needed out of those guys. We're talking about a whole different level in Caleb Williams, who has all the resources that he needs. Whatever you need to do to fluff that situation with each and every one of those guys, just get them. If you need to have a party at your goddamn house, let them kick it out there at the pool. Let them have their boys and homegirls over there. Just get your security, make sure everything go right.
Joseph got it right in the chat. He's like, if I was Caleb, I'd pick a nice place with a beach and sand, but mainly to make my wide receivers even quicker. Training in sand is tough. You know what I'm saying? Like, go buy a friggin' resort out. It's not like y'all broke. Go buy a resort out. Go kick it at the resort. Bring everybody to the resort. They'll cater, all expenses paid. Get smashed every night. Wake up, hit the gym, run, do some stuff on air. Then you're back at it with the family. Bring the family with you for all that. Like, do it.
You got the money. You got the money. Don't be tight.
That's what I'm saying. Spend it where you like, where it should be spent. Like, this is where that money should be spent. And it's not like y'all gonna go broke. You know what I mean? Like, your college situation. If I was your home, if I was if I was your wide receiver or running back, it might have been like, oh man, I got a job on the side. I got to go and scrape some bread. I got this, that, and the third I got to do because I already bought tickets and it's money, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, the money's around. Like, the money doesn't really matter. These guys are all paid for the most part. Put it down. Do the darn thing the right way as a team, and I think the team would be so much better off if they did it. But
hey, man, one thing people have their thoughts about Russell Wilson and all that kind of stuff. But when he got that contract, when he got his first big contract from Seattle, one of the things that I saw him do, and which I was just like, oh, that's what's happening. I'd be at Russ' house every fucking off season, every time. Russ put a whole goddamn football field on his property.
Why wouldn't you?
To have throwing sessions.
Why wouldn't you?
Exactly.
Like, Derrick Henry spends like 200, like he spends a ridiculous amount of money just on his physical upkeep alone. Like, and I don't know what the number is to quote it, but it's a ridiculous number. That's what you do. You take care of your body. You take care of your training. You know what I mean? If you got to put up a full-on football field in your backyard, you do it. But that ain't what I'm saying. I'm saying take 2 out of those 6 weeks, 3 out of those 6 weeks. Take everybody on offense, including Ben. Bring Ben and his family too. Get to know each other. Get acclimated. Get on a field somewhere. Get it done. Like, that's what I would do. I like south of Spain, Morocco. You know what I mean? Someplace crazy. Go have fun and do it, man. That's what I would do.
All right. One more question about the offense. And it's going to come up faster than you guys think. How much are you playing Caleb in preseason after the pads go on?
Say that one more time.
How much are you playing Caleb in the preseason after the pads go
on? Oh. Very sparingly. And like, the reason I'm saying that, like, there's certain things that I would want to see. I would want to see, you know what? Like, I would play him first quarter of each game. Maybe, like, and it also depends on who's playing. First quarter of each game. I would probably want to see. I would want to see Tyson Bagent more than anybody else. I hate, like, it's crazy I'm even saying this, but it's very true. A, you want to showcase him for potential trade. B, you want to make sure you actually know who that number 2 quarterback in this offense is going to be. Caleb Williams, you just kind of want to know he can get the rock out of his hand on the quick. That's all. That's all I need to see.
So I'm a lot like, I think it's a lot of people thinking the same way I am. I think you can't be afraid. And if it's about, I think it's going to come down to what they see in camp. If they see steady progression, and they feel like this guy's got it. He's just, you know what I mean? I think he'll be fine. I think as the season goes, if they're going to look at it that way and take the first 4 games before they go into their bye and use that as a measuring stick of how much he's learned, if they feel good about him coming out of camp, if they get that 3 weeks when the pads go on, if they feel good about those sessions, then, I can see the Bears feeling like, okay, we're going to get a minimum amount of snaps and get these other guys some reps. But I'm more on the side of not being afraid. and playing them because I know live bullets make a difference. You can go out there and give me a quarter and a half. You can go out there and give me a half, but I need you to do that consistently. I need to see that consistently. I need to see him make, and my operations would be like this whole setup in this preseason is going to be for you, Caleb, is how fast are you getting to your spot? Are you getting the ball out fast? Are you getting to your drop step and firing that ball where it's supposed to go right away? If I see that early and I see that in your muscle memory, then I'm gonna pull you and let some other guys play. But if I don't see that, if I see you hesitating, holding on the ball a little too long, your ass going in the game the next game. That's kind of how I would play it because I think it should be about, okay, preseason is preseason. You don't want him to get hurt. So we'll just set the operations up about him getting the ball out of his hands fast.
Well, and you see, and that's why I said it the way that I said it. I like the way that you said it too. Like I said, I would go all 3 games. I just want to see consistency, test game speed, get the ball out of your hands in a decent amount of time, as in super effing fast. You know what I'm saying? Get the ball out of your hands. If you can do that, we'll run some basic quick plays that will enable your ability to do that. If you can't do it, you're definitely going out there next week to do it again. There's no question. There's no question if you fall short of it, you're definitely going back out there to do it. But like these guys are saying, and I'm in full agreement, a lot of these kinks should be worked out behind the scenes before preseason. So come preseason, I would like to think we should be seeing him just let the ball go very quickly to his skill position players. And if that's what we're seeing, by all means,
what I meant, Levante, what I meant by going back out there, I meant by getting an extended period instead of however many plays we had designed for. You're going to put you back out there for another quarter or something like that. That's what I meant.
Oh, okay. That's what you're saying. Okay. Interesting. I don't know if I'd play more than 1 quarter, man. I'd sit him. If he doesn't, you know what I mean? If he ain't doing it, I'd sit him. You yell at him later. You know what I mean? You're already going to test you out again next week.
You can't get better at football not playing football.
That's, well, like I'm saying, you test him out next week, but up to you. You know what I mean? Up to you as a coach. If you want to play him the whole first game, you can do that, but you also are putting him in a situation where he could get hurt. So that's where things go a little bit sideways for me. I don't know.
All right. One last thing. I did say this was the last offensive thing before we move on. O-line gel. This is something I want the No Maniacs to understand. There's a lot of you guys that are nuanced football people. Most of you guys in this chat, I know you are. I can just read your comments and I know it. And I know it's going to sound redundant to you all. But for the people who, need to probably understand this a little bit better, the new pieces that we have, along with the young people that we have, we got a rookie, we got a first-year guy. We got a rookie and a second-year guy that's fighting for a tackle spot. We got some pieces that need to come together. I don't care how long they've been in the league. They need to come together. And so what I would say in this statement is I think the O-line gelling, as much as Caleb learning this playbook and getting the nuances of the offense together and really not being a renter of this offense and being an owner of this offense, same kind of thing needs to go on with the offensive line. They have to get some reps together, and a lot of them. And I think they're going to, whatever that offensive line is, by the time we get out of training camp in the preseason, ain't going to be what it's going to be in week 12. Because they need some time on the grass together in real live action, not against your same team, but against real teams that have real, that can really, really throw challenges at you. And so I think what people should expect from this O-line is mistakes early and getting that fixed as we go on in the season. I don't think we're going to see the perfect line that, some of the hoorah going around this organization right now seem to think that we just plug them and play and they're going to be perfect. No, they need time on grass together. They don't even know who's going to be next to them right about now, at least on the left side. You know what I mean? So they need time.
I hope they don't. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm gonna just lean on Joe Tooney a little bit here. I hope that his experience and tenure really leads to just better play across that left side of the offensive line. That's really what I'm hoping for. My beef with the offensive line all last year, and why I had been harping on Nate Davis and his, you know, lack of practicing, was because they needed to build a cohesive offensive line, just cohesion. They needed to know who the guy is going to be beside you. Is he going to be ready? How does he play? What are his tendencies, and vice versa? Nate not in the lineup, threw that whole thing out the window, and then injury continued to plague that line throughout the rest of the season. Um, that's why things went sideways. Like it's a major reason why things went sideways. This time around, all those guys are relatively healthy. To my understanding, they should be able to actually build and do the dance together. And if they can, I think that it bodes so much better than where we were this time last year.
So where the nuance comes in, and one of these days I'll get my homeboy don't know what I'm doing right now, but he knows I'm up to something because I'm always asking him football O-line questions. And one of the things he told me, he said some of the hardest stuff about playing with a new guy, he says when it, like if just say as a technique, let's just say you're a center or a guard or something, and the nose guard, that guy's playing nose guard, he aligns right in between you if you're the center and the guard, and he's got this like cockeyed stance, and you don't really know exactly who he's going to come off the ball and get on, or if he's going to shoot the gap. And if let's just say that you're the center, you had to pick up that block, but there's a linebacker that you need to pick up right behind him. That was your intentional assignment, but you need to get hands on him first. But how you pass him off to that guard, how fast you pass him off to that guard, little stuff like that. You know what I mean? You got to get to the second level and get to that linebacker that's about to come down the hole. But you need to get hands on him and pass him off to the guy next to you. Little stuff like that. How fast is that change off, that pass off? How fast is that going to happen? You know, little stuff like that. They got to get used to playing with each other to know that. I know Joe is he's waiting for that pass off. He's got a guy that he's looking at over here that's on the tackle, and he might have to go help him. So you need to get to that pass off pretty quick. Stuff like that. There's little football nuance that needs to happen along the offensive line. And the more and more they're on that grass, and the more that ball is snapped, and they get actual football reps in, the better and better it's going to be. I don't know how good it's going to be. I don't know when it's going to be good.
I think it can be good, man. I think it can be kind of good with those three guys in the middle. And I'm not, by no means am I discounting Darnell Wright. I'm just saying those three guys in the middle, the new guys that are brought in, the two Pro Bowlers, and Drew Dahlman. I think that goes so much further and deeper than what we had here last year. I think there's a lot of experience to be had and shared with those three guys moving to the right and to the left. I have a feeling this offensive line is going to look so much different than it did last year this time.
So Jonah and Darnell probably are getting some of that gel going on already because they're solidly next to each other every single time.
And this is what I'm saying.
Tooney, the vet, he's every week he's getting the left tackle changed out. Sooner than later, they have to make a decision on who's going to be that left tackle. And the sooner they do that, the better it's going to be.
If the vet can gel with both of them, that's great. Because who knows if somebody winds up hurt down the couple of weeks in, he's just gonna have to build that same rapport and tutelage with the other guy. So I'm glad they're sharing reps right now. Actually, I'm really glad they're sharing reps because it goes to show that we might have a 1A, 1B situation at left tackle, and that's behind the actual starter.
Yeah. It's gonna be good, man. Whoever gets that job, the sooner they get to that, let's stick and stay with whoever they're gonna go with, the better off it's going to be for the entire offensive line. And that's going to be important moving forward, is how well they're getting, how well they're communicating, and how well they're able to assess what's in front of them and get to, you know what I mean? You got a communication stuff that needs to go on pre-snap, all that kind of stuff. So I think that's, to me, that's going to be as interesting as watching Caleb develop in this offense this offseason. When the pads go on, it's going to get very real. It's going to be guys that's going to taper off, and it's going to be guys that rise. You've seen the name of the podcast tonight. The cream will rise at the top, and that's what's going to happen, man. When them pads go on, we're going to see. We got a rookie that I think people are starting to got a rookie tackle. People are starting to already anoint him as a starting left tackle. As much as I would want to do that right now, because I feel really, really good about that football player, really good. I think he might have been the steal of the draft, in my opinion, for the Bears. But just like as strong as I feel about him, I feel as strong about the NFL edge rushers that, the different kinds of guys that need to baptize that guy. He needs to get some reps against Montez with the pads on. Some of these other guys we have on the team, and to see, and I don't think we have the plethora of guys at this moment, except for Daniel Hardy. You got Dio. These big, powerful edge rushers. He's gonna have to deal with power in this camp. But when he gets off, and when they get off into the regular season, and if he's a starter, the short, quick guys, they're little guys that can get up under you. And with that bend issue that he has, hopefully he's working with his flexion right about now. Got a yoga instructor, whatever. Get it going on, man, because you're going to need it, because every one of the pass rushers that you see in this camp, it ain't going to be the same when you get out this camp and get into the regular season.
So Bear Truth Nine's killing it, and he just hit it exactly the way that I'm thinking. Like, yeah, I think this O-line will come on reasonably fast. Tooney, Hall of Fame vet. Dahlman, vet. Right guard, played in the system at a high level. Also was a Pro Bowler too, and a hungry Darnell. So if you look at the team last year and you look around, you look for a veteran leader at any position, I think the one name you might come up with, I'm going to give you three names. Three names I would give you from last year's team would be Andrew Billings. It would be Kevin Byard. And on the offense, it would be Mercedes Lewis. Outside of that, nobody that I would really call a vet. This time around, there's a whole bunch of vets, man. Whole bunch of vets that can lead and lend experience and knowledge to the guy to the left or to the right of them. And that starts on that offensive line. Then you look at the defensive line with Grady Jarrett. Great addition in that respect to add a little bit more tutelage and knowledge and experience. You add Case Keenum to the quarterback room. There's a little bit more veterancy across the board on this year's Chicago Bears team, and I think it's going to really help these guys learn from the mistakes of last season.
I dig it. I appreciate all of that because it's relevant, very relevant. And I hope that plays a serious role in how fast this thing comes together, because a really, really good offensive line looks like an accordion when they come off the ball, especially in pass pro. It's like you look at a good bow in a bow and arrow situation, that thing bows out and it expands like an accordion, and it comes back together when it needs to. You know what I mean? That's called symmetry. You have to work to get to that. That's not, you put them here and everything's going to be, no. You got to play. You got to play and learn that guy next to you. That's how you get it done. And then if something goes down, it always happens. Somebody goes down, knocking on wood. And the next guy, you got to know him, So it's always like those guys never come off the field. You know what I mean? They're always in there. They ain't no substituting the offensive line. The starters are the starters. And so they just have to know each other. So that's going to be important moving forward. We're going to get to some defense right now. And the first thing I want to say is this, man, something I've been kind of neglecting to say. I love defense, man, and I'm spending a lot of time talking about offense, but that ain't my true passion. My true passion is defense. And why I like Dennis Allen's scheme, why I like it so much. I'll tell you right off the top before we get into some specific details. Dennis Allen is a coach that I always wanted, to be honest with you, kids. Every defense that I played in from junior high to high school to college was all coverage defenses. What I mean by coverage, I mean it's not matchup man to man, it's coverage. You're playing in coverage, whether it's blitz coverage, whether it's man coverage. You're always in coverage. You're always in coverage, so you're playing space instead of a man, and you have to get really, really good at that. It's basically Matt Eberflus. That's his philosophy. You get really, really good at covering space, knowing where your checks are, knowing where to drop out of that coverage and take something else, using your instincts, all of that put together. When Dennis Allen takes all of that out of the equation in a man match up style defense, he's going to, there's going to be parts of what he does. And if you watch enough tape of his, you don't see edge rushers getting like majority of. I think I've seen the slot corner get 4 sacks in a game, 3 or 4 sacks in a game. The slot corner. So simulated pressure. What does that mean? That means pressure that you're not getting from the front 4 or front 3, however many you're playing on the down line of scrimmage. So you're simulating pressure from elsewhere. So it'd be whether it be a nickel, a slot corner, whether it be a safety, whether it be a linebacker, you're simulating more pressure on the quarterback. And the idea that Dennis Allen plays with, which I love, is to attack. And I put emphasis and underline the dog shit out of this. Attack the offense and not sit back and wait for it to attack you. I always wanted to play in that defense and never really got a serious chance to do it. We played that style here and there, but that was not our base coverage. And I just always wanted to play it. And I know that we have the pieces, kids, around Dennis Allen. This defense is much better laden with talent than it was in New Orleans. People give, one of the New Orleans Saints fans got on me in the comment section behind one of these shows or shorts that I did talking about Dennis Allen. He was just like, man, we was glad to get him out of here. And I had to break it down. I was like, man, we got a better roster than he had in New Orleans. Since key players, he was good for a really long time with that defense when he had key guys young. But as that defense started to age and they lost a couple of pieces, that wasn't the same defense. He didn't have the same personnel. So I'm confident in what this guy can bring to the Bears now with the players that we have, and I think it's going to fit well.
The New Orleans defense was a decent defense for many years, man. Cam Jordan was getting it done, and I mean for many years. I'm pretty sure that whoever you're that New Orleans fan you were talking or speaking with wanted to get Dennis Allen out because the offense was done, and it was done. As soon as Drew was done, the offense was done. They hadn't really recovered since then. And that's just a fact. You know what I mean? Like that's been Dennis Allen's tenure over there. He's now here as a defensive coordinator doing the thing that he does best, much like Matt Eberflus is in Dallas doing the thing that he does best. I'm gonna have to say, unfortunately, both of these guys are probably not the greatest head coaches in the world, but at the same time, I will also give them the slight benefit of the doubt in saying their offenses that they inherited weren't necessarily ready for prime time.
Yeah.
Either way, man, I appreciate what he's going to bring to the table. There was too much bend but don't break with Matt Eberflus, and unfortunately, a lot of the time it broke because that front 4 was not getting, that front 7, if you will, was not getting the pressure needed.
So let me, the kids call me boss. I'm gonna shout out to you for busting up in here. He says Sweat and Dio combined for 8.5 sacks last season. Yes, the worst DEs in the NFL. So let me say this to you, and with all due respect, boss, if you're a numbers watcher, if you're a box score watcher, if that's how you evaluate how good a player is, whether how many, especially a DN, how many sacks he got. If that's how you measure that football player, I can tell you personally, that's the absolute wrong way to look at it. There's so many different ways that a defensive end can affect the game in ways that don't show up in the box. just wanted to put that out there, man. Like if you end up getting the sack, that's great. You're gonna get more money when it comes time for you to negotiate a new contract or whatever it is. But to measure what a guy is capable of and how he affects the game based off, especially a DN, based off the number of sacks that he has, you're probably missing 50% of it at least. At least. Just wanted to put that out there for you. I hear what you're saying, but it's more to it than how many sacks you get. A lot.
You can't just lean on the stats alone. There's other things to look at. First one being Montez Sweat was hurt for the better part of last season. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt and hopefully he's not hurt this season. Nobody's really asked him about that. The flip side for me really is like the Dayo Odangbo situation is just it's a massive question mark for me. Just a huge question mark. I don't know. If you're going to throw money at something, you know what I mean? You might as well go throw it at the sure thing. Throw it at something you know is going to get the job done. I'm not sure about Dayo. I'm not. Can he set the edge? Yeah. Is he a powerful big guy? Yeah. Outside of that, I don't.
I'll give you an example, kid. Okay, say Dayo he's set up as left DN. So that means if you're the quarterback, you'll see Dayo on your left side coming at you, right? So he's coming off the ball and he's taking a wide angle. He's coming around and he's beating the tackle. The guard sees it and knows to get off of whatever responsibility that he's on. He needs to get on Dayo so that guy doesn't get around and get to the quarterback. So he gets off of his assignment, and the slot corner is on a delayed blitz, knowing this is football chess that's going on. I'm talking about. The slot corner knows that he's on a delayed blitz, waiting to see if the guard comes off of him and goes to help out the tackle. That then he knows to come and go after the quarterback, and so he makes the sack on the quarterback, the slot corner. That doesn't show up in the stat sheet for the edge rusher now, does it?
Yeah, that's a very good point. That's a very good point.
Stuff like
so what you're saying, and like it'll be interesting, y'all. It'll be interesting. So what he's saying is like Kyler Gordon might be Spider-Man for real this season. Kind of what he's really what he's saying. And I almost expect no less, because that was the first name out of Dennis Allen's mouth was, hey, I like this kid. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, you look at Flores and what he does with Minnesota, and you're like, okay, it's a little bit exotic and different. I don't think it's going to be super exotic, but if it turns out that we can't necessarily just dial up sack numbers, but we can dial up pressure, this is where a slot corner blitz comes into play. This is where much more linebacker blitzes come into play, and we really didn't see much of that at all with Eberflus. So I'm interested. I want to see what an attacking version of the 4-3 looks like. I mean, I've been watching my kid play football for a long time. I don't see very much of it at all.
Yeah, I wanted to get out of here, man, and I don't want to push it though, kids, because I know we've been doing long ass shows, and I know it's been your lifestyle.
I can go a little bit longer, but
I don't want to push it, man, because these shows get carried away sometimes, and we do a lot of content, and it's fun. We have a good time doing this, but since we're talking about defense, and some of the advantages I think we'll have are so particular, and we got 6 weeks to actually talk about this. So I don't want to just uncork and give you everything. But in the vein of who I think will really, really excel and have particular stats to show, it's definitely going to be Kyler. It's definitely going to be one of the safeties. It's probably going to be Jaquan and Kyler. But if I'm Dennis Allen, like I saw how Tennessee played Kevin Byard. Kevin Byard was a was a one high safety. He was a two high safety. He played in the box. He was a blitzer. They did everything with him because that guy's that good. Kevin Byard is that good. There's no limit to what you can do with a Kevin Byard on your team. But you also have other pieces that you like. You hear Javon Dexter and Montez Sweat talking about this defense and their roles and how it's different, how it's changed from what Flus was doing. And you hear him talking, and I've said this on a couple of shows at this point, but I want people to understand. Javon mentioned, he said these words in particular. He said, it's a lot of bullets flying. And that's different from what we're used to, kids. We aren't used to seeing bullets flying in a Matt Eberflus defense. In a Dennis Allen defense, if you want to attack the offense, you're going to have to fire that gun, and you're going to have to fire it often. Caution be damned. Send them. Get on them. And I've been waiting for a coach like that. We need a coach like that.
And if that's what they're seeing in practice, that means the kid's getting the ball out quickly. And when I say that, I mean if the kid's doing well in practice, and this is what the reports are that the offense has overtaken the defense a couple of times this week. And if that's the case and bullets are flying, that means he's getting rid of the rock quickly, y'all. So that's really what I needed to see from him. I hope that continues on. If we're talking about Caleb Williams, if we're talking about the Dennis Allen defense, there's another, huh?
Hey kids, fire them bullets. Them bullets ain't gonna do you no good in no gunfight. Fire all of them, and when you run out of bullets, throw the motherfucker at them.
I just need them gone. I need them gone. I need them out. I need you to re-up. You know what I mean? Put another clip in there. You know what I'm saying? Re-up a clip.
If you can't get to that fast enough, throw the damn gun at him. Get him off.
Do whatever you need to do. Get it out of your hands, son. That's what I'm saying. Get it out of your hands. But there's one more unsung hero that I'm really pulling for this season. As much chops as I've busted over the years, I'm really hoping for Tremaine Edmonds to step it up. And I think he's going to have a bit of a different opportunity to do so this time around. And I can't wait to see it. Like a lot of what I'm seeing in the chat is folks are a little bit worried about, about the tight end case scenario versus a Dennis Allen defense. In my opinion, they're like Tremaine Edmonds should be a problem for just about every tight end in the league, with the slight exception of Travis Kelce. I know he had a lot of trouble with Travis Kelce. But outside of Travis Kelce, who's getting a little bit long in the tooth,
you ain't worried about that.
You know what I mean? He should be ready for these tight ends. He should be able to manage these tight ends. He's got length and speed. Just really wasn't able to utilize it the way that he could in this defense. I kind of can't wait to see a different version of the Tremaine Edmonds that we've seen these last couple of years.
Okay, so let me jump on this question. Andy Spencer, shout out to Andy Spencer, just busted up in this piece. Thank you for the question. He says, facts, Bears was a 5-win team, question, or a poorly coached team, question. The Bears was at least a 10-win team if coached well last season. Do you disagree? I totally agree. I'm not on that. You know, there's a whole legion of fans out there that says that this team was just constantly poorly. I don't believe that. I think there were some bad decisions that were made, but I think, you know, when we're talking about, I keep saying this all the time. When we were 4-2, I didn't hear any complaints about the coaching. You know, some stuff happened and things started going downhill, and we started to notice some things after that little, trek downhill. I think the coaches were in a tight spot after that. And I think they started to get tight because of the pressurized situation. But I think, we were in some games that we could have probably pulled off another 3 or 4 games. I think, in my opinion, I think we could have.
Easily. And why I say that is so I was complaining during those first 6 games. I was. And what I was complaining about was Matt Eberflus's ability to successfully call a timeout. I kept bringing it up. And then it just got worse and worse and worse. Worse to the point that they lost the game against Washington, which we clearly should have won. Worse to the point that we lost the game on Thanksgiving to the Detroit Lions, which, again, we clearly should have won. There's a couple of games there. I'm sure there's two more that I'm probably just leaving out. But there's 2 to 3 more games that we probably should have won just due to coaching alone. So I think definitely 8 games, probably 10 if somebody had made the decision to turf Matt Eberflus earlier on. Hint, hint.
Yeah, I think we could have got a couple, 2, 3 more wins out of that. Maybe I might be minimizing it a little bit because I really watch games, and just for sake of the podcast, I do the podcast afterwards. And I'm like a football player in real life, man. Today, I flush that shit as fast as I can, and I don't want to remember it. And I have to go to the tape to recall that kind of shit, man, because I don't hang on to it. Like you guys in the chat, man, I got to give you all credit, man, and you two kids, man, because that's kind of how we met. Because you all have these vivid memories of all these different games, in 2002, and it's just crazy. I don't remember when the game is won, we won. When the game is lost, we lost. Flush it, get to the next game. That's just my mentality. But you all can remember some of the details. This is some stuff that I can remember too, lots of stuff. But like I'm not holding on to it that much. What I noticed about the team was, there was definitely some stuff going on behind the scenes that we wasn't privy to. And after the Washington game, when that happened, there was definitely something there was a loose thread there, and it got pulled, and everything just came apart. If that doesn't happen, and they kept on with the winning trajectory that they had, I think we still have Matt Eberflus as a coach. I think we still have Shane Waldron as a coach. No question.
Wow.
No question. I mean, if we'd have won 10 games out of that, Matt Eberflus is still our head coach, bro. He's our head coach, period. We might have had a different offensive coordinator, but he'd still be the head coach. But when I say the trajectory went the opposite direction, it went the opposite direction fast. And then once that thread came loose, there was no putting that thing back together. It came apart. And we started hearing things. And I think that was I don't think we had horrible coaches. I think we had coaches that were probably outside of the element, Matt Eberflus, but I still think he was a solid coach. He just was a terrible decision maker when it came to, in-game moments to make some changes, adjust, and different things like that. Managing the clock, he was terrible at it. But I think he was a solid coach.
How? I don't know how you could put this.
He wasn't a shit coach. People would say, Trestman. People might say Trestman's a terrible coach. I don't think so. I think he was just a better coordinator than he was a head coach. I don't think he's a bad coach.
Well, that's what we're saying. Like, that's what's to be said. And like, again, what's really funny about, like, since you went to Trestman, is like Trestman is a good coach, but he wasn't a good coach for the Chicago Bears. Nobody bought in. It was a wrong place, wrong time situation. If we all remember correctly, that version of the Chicago Bears offense was awesome. Like, it was. They put up crazy numbers with Jay Cutler that season, or those seasons. But the rest of the team didn't buy in. The defense definitely didn't buy in. Say what?
Out of his element.
Yeah. Well, again, the defense didn't buy in. The defense was getting torched. These are just things that we can sort of go back to. Once more, if everybody buys in, great. It's tough when you're dealing with one side of the ball versus both sides of the ball. But in Chicago, traditionally, you want that offensive mind because the defense is usually pretty good. And in Trestman's situation, the defense went from being really good to not. And here we are on the complete flip side. The defense was really good. Matt Eberflus is a defensive guy, and the offense wasn't. So in the end,
Kid, you want to hear another probably truth that a lot of people wouldn't want to hear? Yeah, I think John Fox was a really good coach. I think what's his name? Mustache, man. Mustache. What am I thinking about?
Mustache?
Mustache, what's his name? Come on, he's on every podcast, man. Come on.
Oh, Wani?
Wani was a very good coach. You understand where I'm going here? I'm telling you that situationally, things just were different during that time. Like Juan said, I think was a great coach. I think Dave was a great coach. I still think Dave.
You got too far now. So like, I love Wani. I do. He's a great personality, especially by way of coaching. He knows football at a different level. Same token, his version of the Chicago Bears was not a good version of the Chicago Bears. It just was not. It wasn't. I don't know if
why, kid. You know why, kids? Because he was like Dennis Allen. I mean, not Dennis, but what's his name? Ben Johnson is now. If Ben Johnson would have done what Dave Wanstead was trying to do then, he'd be out the league. He just ran the ball. He just wanted to run the ball. He decided that this is how you win football games. You run the ball and you play defense. That's the idea. That's exactly
Chicago
what Ben
football.
Johnson.
That's Chicago football, though.
That's exactly what Ben Johnson was doing all the damn time. They ran the ball a shitload. And this so happened to be very, very successful because they was able to pony up and make the passing game almost as successful as the running game, even though it was just little. I'm telling you, Dave Wanstead fundamentally is a really, really good coach, man.
He is fun. I agree with you. He is fundamentally sound. I'm not sure if this was roster or decisions. Not a good look by way of Chicago Bears head coach. It just did not work out. John Fox was even worse. And why I say that is that John Fox had won his ring, came here, went through a quarterback transition, never really found the guy, and basically was ready to go. He was more or less walking retired for those last 2 seasons in Chicago. First season maybe he was gung ho and ready to do something, didn't work out. I don't just the way, and it's, man, I'm just gonna say stuff now. I hope this all works out for Ben Johnson. I have so much respect for his level of intelligence on the offensive side of the ball. And personality, I like it as well so far. I think he's a great guy. I just don't want the media to get into him to the level that it has some of these other guys. Because like I said similar things about Matt Nagy when he came in. Nagy knew what he was doing and then lost it. And all of these gentlemen we just talked about sort of just wound up getting into word salad. It's just pulling words from the sky that had nothing to do with anything so they can get the hell out of press conferences.
Pause for 1 second, kids. I don't know who's in here name calling. I'm looking at King Booker's comment, but hey, whoever's doing that, y'all, everybody's welcome. Everybody's welcome. That's why we say this is a community. We all are welcome. But one of the standards around here is we have vivid, hard, raucous debate, but we don't call names. We don't call names, man. We don't call names.
Didn't see anything along those lines.
Have an intellectual conversation, have a hardcore debate, but don't call nobody no name because you don't like something. And we don't do that around. You can joke and crack a joke, but that's name calling we don't do.
Yeah, let's keep it civil out there. Shout out to my guy, the Bishop is out there.
Bishop just busted up in this thing.
Bishop's out there, man. Good to see him. He actually has some optimism for Ben Johnson as the head coach, straight up and down. I do too, and I mean a lot of it. He's doing the stuff that I've been complaining about for time. I keep bringing up the snaps. This guy's paying attention to the details. If there's stuff that he sees, he's going to go, what's up with that? Why is that this way? Let's iron that shit out. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the type of guy we need to have as a head coach. And the Bears brass paid him big money to be here. So I'm super with it. I hope it resonates with the young man. I hope it resonates with the offensive line. And even more so, I hope it resonates with the wide receivers and skill positions too.
One other thing that I wanted to talk about before we get ready to get up out of here is, dog, Dom Rob. Remember, I don't know if you've seen this, but I think it was Mark Carmen or somebody asked Ben Johnson a question like, "Who are the particular guys that really stuck out to you in this OTA session?" And he fired back at him. He wanted to answer it. He's like, "You know what? Ask me that tomorrow, and I'll have a better answer for you." Came back the next day, and Dom Rob was one of the names he mentioned.
Yup.
Shook up the motherfucking Bears universe. Because it's a lot of people, and probably including us over here, kind of like, you know what? I've been a Dom Rob fan for the last few years, man. And I know the hurdle he's trying to jump. He's not a defensive end by nature. He's learning the position. And he's had to go through reps and reps and reps and reps next to guys that have been playing the position for quite a long time. And obviously, they don't have pads on right now, but he's impressing somebody. I would just assume that Dennis Allen got into Ben Johnson's ear, or Ben Johnson got into Dennis Allen's ear. Who on that side of the ball is really impressed you that you didn't see it coming? And Dom Rob came up. That's not the first time I've heard that. I've heard that from different guys that are out there, whether it be some dudes from Marquee Sports, or whether it be the bigs with Herb Howard. Shout out to Herb, trying to get him on here soon. He's supposed to, I shouldn't say that. I was trying to get him on here tonight, but that didn't work. I've heard multiple reporters at that camp mention Dom Rob's name as somebody that's sticking out. I found it interesting. What do you think about it, kids? Try not to murder the guy.
Oh, there's no reason to murder him. Like there's people that I might want to murder, maybe, but it's definitely not Dominique Robinson. It's just as you put it, right? So when the kid, when he got drafted, the story was he went from being a quarterback to maybe a tight end, and then a wide receiver, and then eventually became a defensive end the year that Chase Young left his college. And he had a fantastic season, got drafted as an edge rusher, and here we go. Outside of that, I really haven't seen edge rusher out of Dom Rob. Like, I'll just put that out there flat out. Haven't seen it. So if they're telling me that they're seeing it, he's had a few years worth of reps. He's had a few years worth of ability to sort of check it out, learn, understand how Booker's doing it, understand how Montez Sweat is doing it. Perhaps he's also changed his body, right? He's also put on a fair amount more muscle, which is crazy considering he's already very gifted physically. So I don't know. Like what I was saying about him earlier on, maybe a couple of weeks back, is that he just doesn't have tools. If he gets tools, if he's got something in the bag that he can use,
that's and I'm gonna repeat this, because I said this on some Extra Sauce Wednesday, and I think it's worth repeating. I want to see if Kez remembers. We had this conversation. We were talking about this, not this specifically, but talking about Dom Rob. And I was just like, the traits, the physical talent has always been there for the kid. Always been there. And he's got an abundance of it. The skill set to match, he doesn't have as of yet. And he's working on that. You're talking about the bag, the tool bag. That's exactly what I'm talking about. The skill set. So how to, boom, have a powerful move. Like every single offensive lineman they'll game plan a football player, and it's like, all right, this is Dominique Robinson. I know what he's got. His home run move is this, whatever it is, long arm stab, coming around, whatever it is, over move, a swim over move, whatever it is, it's a move that is a home run for him. And a counter. You prepare for both as an offensive lineman. Okay, what's his home run move? What's his counter? I'm going to stop his home run move. What's his next move? I'm going to try to stop that. Those tools, that's what I mean by, okay, he's got the physical talent. It's always been there. But the skill set, he's trying to attain. And I would love to see Dominique Robinson get to that level in this training camp. I would absolutely love it. And if it bumps somebody that I really like off this roster, one of those UDFAs or somebody, then so be it. That means it was time well spent. And then he got into a room with another coach, and the coach unlocked that, that hidden feature to him. You know what I mean? Helped him focus on, get this move down, get this counter move down, and that's going to be your money. It could be that simple. But I can tell by some of the different stuff that he was doing while under Flus that he was just trying too much stuff. And you can't fault someone for trying, right? You cannot.
Well, it's the only way he's going to learn, right?
He's going to have to go out there and put that on the map and try that stuff and see if it's something that he can work with. Obviously, It didn't work too well.
No, it didn't. He was, and this is where I think he's going to show a difference, or at least I hope he shows a difference. Again, if he's put on more muscle, that means he should be a little bit more powerful than he has been over the course of the last few years. I've seen the man get stood up by many a left tackle and or right tackle. He gets stood up. If he's able to pancake these fools now, if he's that, if he's got that kind of power, put a man on his ass. Okay, all right, Don. All right, right. Like that's something he definitely hasn't had in the past. He's fast enough to be a speed rusher. If he's strong enough also to do the power thing, all right. Okay. Those are the two moves you need. I'm saying that's all you need is two.
A money move and a counter to it.
That's it. If you can put a man on his ass, you win.
Money move and a counter to it. Or he jumped my so you'll see a lot of offensive linemen. And I think so when I say jump setting, Darnell Wright kind of does this, and people were seeing that before he came out in college, where he was just jumping on top of the edge rusher before the edge rusher can get into his move. He just jumped. That's a jump set. He would just get on top of him. And that's something when I was talking, remember that night we were talking to Berlissimo, and I was asking Berlissimo, I'm like, why do so many offensive linemen sit there and wait like wounded prey? I kind of remember that conversation we were having, kids? And that's my thing. And so you got to prepare for all that kind of stuff. You have offensive linemen that will get on top of you before you get into a really good move. And you have those offensive linemen that will wait until you get into your move and feel like they're good enough to stop you. So what Dominique Robinson, I think, my opinion, if Dominique Robinson is listening to me, I would say put all your cachet into one move. Once you get that down, get the counter to it and make that money. And so you got two money moves. Simple, pimple. Get that down. And if somebody jump sets you or has a counter for your strong move, have a counter to it. That's all you need in this league. That's all you need in this league. Everything else, you're just trying it. You just need a home run move and a counter to it.
That's it, man. We'll see. We'll see if he has it. It's starting to sound like maybe again he may have picked up a couple of tools, put that stuff in his belt, and away he goes. And that's what he was missing. Straight up. Wasn't like he wasn't the right size or the right length or the right speed. He had all those things. Now he also has the strength too. So I'm interested. Here's where things go sideways for me, though, and it's not with Dominique Robinson. It's with the rest of them. You know what I mean? Like Dominique Robinson ain't supposed to be the guy that's jumping out here. He's not. That's not supposed to be him. Let me also say that maybe Dominique Robinson's got a little chip on his shoulder. And I hope he does. You know what I'm saying? I hope he does. I hope that's all the more reason for him to be getting after it, right?
I'll tell you one thing. If I fantasize sometime if I was a different size human being. I was born and will always be a defensive back as far as my physical stature is concerned. If I was a different size human being, say I was Dominique Robinson with his size, I would be my move would be all right, try to beat him around the edge. And my get off would be so strong and so quick that he's gonna overcompensate for trying to beat me, keep me from getting around him. And I'm gonna use his momentum and Reggie White his ass. And as soon as he comes out there with all that momentum, I'm gonna take that and I'm gonna throw my arm right up under him and I'm gonna swim his ass right over me, push his ass right past me. I'm gonna you trying to stop me? Get out here with all that speed and all that quickness with that. I forget what you call it. You call his I'm having a brain fart right now, but that's what I would do. I would let him come out there after me with all that speed and quickness, and I'll just chuck his ass right past me and get to the quarterback. That would be my move. Hold on one second, man. My fucking cat, man. Hold on.
Uh-oh. Well, yeah, just shout out to Bishop out there in the chat. He's asking about Austin Booker and if we've heard his name mentioned. I can't say that I have either. I haven't. Can't wait to hear it. I that kid's got a couple, it's quite the opposite. He's got the physicals too, and he came to the table with a couple of tricks, right? He's got a couple of moves, a couple of tools in that bag, and I'm interested to see how well he can utilize them in the Dennis Allen defense. That's what I'm looking to see. But heck, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater, right? So if Dom Rob is stepping it up, and he's made a physical change to his body, and he's able to do things a little bit differently, let him rip, man. Let him go. Let him do the darn thing. I'm interested in seeing exactly what he can do. I'm just saying my little beef is that I'm not hearing Deo Odangbo. That's what I should be hearing. I should be, he's a beast. He's a monster out there. That's kind of what I expected to hear, or I was hoping to hear. Not Dominique Robinson. But hey, you know what this really means, though?
I'm back, bro. JoJo is right. That club over. Club his ass past you. But I apologize for that, man. My girlfriend just irritated the shit out of me. She went to bed and left the cat in the house, knowing the cat likes to be outside at this time. And I'm doing a podcast, and she just over there, cat's going crazy. Almost. Oh, God, it's irritating, man.
Female or male?
The cat, she's a female.
Yeah, is she gonna go do the freak nasty?
No, not that. No, she's fixed. I got her fixed. She just when she wants her way, she wants her way. When she wants out of the house, I tell my girlfriend all the time, let her out before you go to bed. If I'm on a podcast, that way I ain't got no problems live on the show. She's just pecking at the door. She uses her hands and just pulls at the door and just will aggravate you until you let her out. It's irritating, bro. Trust me. But I love the pieces off of her, every part of her.
Away she goes. But yeah, no, folks are asking about Booker. I'm interested. I like, just like I was saying, I'm interested in finding out what's going on with Deo. I'd like to hear a little bit more. That whole left side of that line, I'm interested in hearing the improvement for each one of these guys, because it's going to be a battle. And like I'm leaving out potentially Shamar in and out, right? Inside and outside. I'm also leaving out Daniel Hardy. I know they've moved him over to take some snaps at linebacker, but don't be surprised if Daniel Hardy's also on the edge. You might also see Nomad's boy on the edge too. That would not be surprising either. And the boy I'm talking about is Noah Sewell.
That's the next conversation, kids. That's what we're going to do. We're going to use that one to close out the show. Well, not Noah Sewell in particular, but we're talking about the Sam linebacker role is definitely up for grabs. And
yeah.
So far, Noah Sewell has been taking all the 1 reps for it. And now let me fix this conversation and present it the right way. Ruben Hippolyte has been playing all of the will linebacker reps at 1 because TJ hasn't been in camp. And so, the competition between Hippolyte and Noah Sewell and all that kind of stuff, people are already projecting Hippolyte's going to be the starting Sam linebacker. I'm not sure about that. I'm not sure about that. Can he play the Sam linebacker at 236? Yes. Noah Sewell, can he play the Sam linebacker at almost 250? Yes. Yes. Now, when the question is, and this is something that needs to be said, yes, we know that I think Ruben Hippolyte can play at least Sam or Will, one of them equally as well. Middle linebacker, I think he's got the speed to do it. The height, I think people might take advantage of his height and try to throw over top of him in one-on-one situation. I think that'll be an issue for him, even in zone coverage. Height is a big deal, for when you're in zone situations. Now, do I think he can play middle linebacker? Yeah. I think, does he have some shortcomings when it comes to playing middle linebacker? Yes. I think a smart move right now for the Bears would be to have Ruben Hippolyte as your backup TJ Edwards. That's in my opinion. I think that's the best thing he can do. And if he gradually exceeds expectations and beats out Noah Sewell, then he beats out Noah Sewell. But I think Noah Sewell, you keep giving him those reps, he's going to keep performing. I think Ruben Hippolyte, new to the NFL, rookie, coming along really, really fast and really, really good. Keep giving him those will linebacker reps as much as you can. Don't take him out of that role until you feel like he's mastered that. Then move him to another one. That's the way I feel about it.
I don't know what to say here. I know Ruben's been playing very well over the course of the last couple of weeks too. That is an upside because again, he's a little bit of a question mark for everybody. Nomad he is leaning towards Sewell heavily.
So far.
He's
I don't know that it would have been different if we'd have had TJ at OTAs. If TJ is there for the OTAs, does Hippolyte get the starting reps? I don't know. But as of right now, TJ wasn't there. And so they gave the starting reps to Noah Sewell.
The answer to that should be yes, right? Just because of where he was drafted and how recently he was drafted.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Well, it's a question of like, when do you have to pay somebody is really the question. And the fact is they would have to pay Noah Sewell in the very near future, as opposed to Ruben, who they just got on the roster and don't have to pay for the next couple of years. They can develop him, right? Development for Noah is sort of, now you should be kind of developed. And if you're developed, we can let you go. We can let you rock. But if we let you rock, we're probably going to have to pay you in a year. You know what I mean? So it's really a question of, is he that good to really assume the Sam right now? And I'm kind of glad TJ hasn't been around, so I can give both of these guys a little bit of an opportunity to get after it and see who it is.
Be quite frank with you, if I had to be a conspiracy theorist, I think that was by design.
Well,
they know what they have, and they know what they have in TJ.
Well, there's no question.
They just re-signed him. That's one of the things they did in the offseason, was made sure they got him locked up.
I'm glad they did. And I said he's, like I say, there was a few guys who jumped out last season, and lo and behold, TJ Edwards, man, TJ is off the man. TJ is second to none on that team. You know what I mean? Him, Kyler, and Kevin Byard, those three guys, as far as the defense is concerned, they played with their hair on fire all year long. But give him a little bit of a break, let him sit down, let him stretch his legs, and take a look at what these two young bucks can do in that linebacker room. And it's interesting. Like I said, I really didn't expect much from Ruben Hippolyte because nobody was looking at him, nobody was talking about him, and Ryan Poles made made a decision on this one. He jumped up and got him, and that's interesting. So far, traditionally, jumping up to go get somebody hasn't been the Chicago Bears' forte.
Yeah, I remember that. King Booker says, "Remember when TJ was the worst off-season signing?" You got to understand who you're talking to sometimes. Remember the space that you're in, who's saying what, and why. I mean, I hear and see so many crazy. Man, I don't get into the Bears press conference chat room because it's too much nonsense going on. It's immaturity, number one, and not enough people that really know what they're talking about. They're just talking. You know what I mean? So I worry about shit like that. I don't get in it. But man, I'm gonna tell you all, man, TJ Edwards, the minute we signed him, I was just like, huh? I was like Scooby-Doo. I was like, whoa, we got what? I knew it was a great signing. TJ Edwards is basically a quick, fast RoboCop. Man, he just gets it done.
And he's Lance Briggs 2.0.
Assignment to assignment, he won't let you down.
Oh.
There's no more constant linebacker in the league outside of Demario Davis, that kind of guy. There's guys like number 54 from Frisco, probably people that consider him the best linebacker in the league. I can't think of his name right now. There's linebackers I can think of off the top of my head that just
Greenlaw?
No, not Greenlaw, the other one.
Oh man.
He's a dog, man, but their linebacker play, there's some really, really good linebackers in the league, and there's some okay. Like we had a guy a couple years ago, he was wearing number 53. I thought he was better than he probably overplayed his contract, and he went to Philadelphia and ended up getting the Super Bowl. But man, dude, Fred Warner, thank you, Fred Warner. A lot of people say I think he's about to experience some downturn in his body. I think he's gonna. And I hate to say it, man. Sorry about that, Fred, but I think he done went through. I think you got about a good 5 or 6 years with a linebacker playing at a high level, 3 to 6 years, depending on how he's made, to get some really good play out of this guy before he'll start to decline. TJ, like we got about a 2-year window with him, pushing 3 if he really takes care of himself. But those linebackers are those guys are so important. They are so important. And I think what you mentioned about, and this is the last part of what we need to be talking about here, the part you mentioned about the contract and Noah Sewell's going to his 3rd year. And if he has a really good year playing Sam linebacker, if they give him that run, they just set up the situation to have him replace and they don't have to pay him. Right or wrong?
That is interesting too. So, like I say, well, I'll just keep it a buck and say that good luck to Noah. I'd like to see him on the field, doing it on the field. That's basically where we are. He has the opportunity right now. He's seizing it. So stay on top of it. By all means, if you're able to stay on top of it and secure that role, it may mean that they extend you down the road. So it's that time for him to step up and be that guy. Maybe Hippolyte becomes the backup for TJ Edwards and or backup middle, but I doubt backup middle. I think he's a little bit too small.
Who?
Ruben.
You mean height or weight?
Height.
For middle linebacker, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think you probably should look up. I think you're right. I think Demario Davis is about 6'2", 6'3", about neighborhood 250 something. You got to have a little height to do that.
That's what I'm trying to say. You want to be able to get in the passing lanes and be disruptive. Tremaine can definitely do that with his height and length, and that's why. That's why he got paid the big bucks, as they say. You know what I mean? But that's basically how that works. So that's the downside with Hippolyte. For me, I don't think he's going to be a good Tremaine backup if if the requirement is there. I think he's much more of a TJ backup, if anything.
That's why I think it's headed there, at least for this year.
Yeah,
I think he's headed to back up TJ.
Singletary was 5'10". Wow.
Back up TJ, even back up to Sam a little bit. But I do think Noah Sewell is going to get some run in this camp. And I think we're going to be back having this conversation soon enough. The thing about Ruben Hippolyte is the speed. It's the speed and being able to carry a running back, being able to carry a tight end down the field when they go on those wheel routes. A wheel route is basically like when a running back kind of swings out of the backfield and it looks like it's going to be a screen pass or something like that, and then he takes off down the field, on a fly route. That's what a wheel route is. And so he's going full bore down the field. Do you have the speed to keep up with him and stay in phase with him and make a play on the ball? Like you might have the speed to stay with him, but do you have the field awareness, the timing to know that when that guy looks up, you need to look up and turn and try to get your hands on the ball and make a play on the ball? We'll see. Sounds like it went really well in this camp, but consistently you need to be able to do that at times, because it might be times when you get caught in a base defense in a 4-3 and the third linebacker is still on the field and you have to carry a running back down the field. You might have to carry a tight end down the field. Can you do it? Can you do it and make a play on the ball? That'd be the difference between whether you get the next set of reps, or you don't.
Good question. So we'll have to see. I think he'll be able to actually carry that running back on a wheel, but tight end might be a little bit more questionable. These tight ends that are coming in are 6'5". They've got length and height over top of Hippolyte, and that worries me a little bit there. That's what
I hear you, JoJo. He's talking about Zach Thomas was 5'5". That was I think the league was just starting to get into this passing league thing, and they were right there. I think Wani might have been a coach out there at the time. Was he? Or was it Jimmy Johnson? I don't know. But yeah, Sam Mills, another short linebacker, middle linebacker at that. I think those are different times. I don't think, be honest with you, in this league, either one of those guys could be a starting middle linebacker in this league. You know what I mean? And during that time when it was more run heavy, they were starting to get into that passing league. I think they were perfect for it. I really do.
That's exactly.
We gotta get out of here because Kids is he's a working stiff now. He leans to the man now.
Sucks. But I can pay bills.
I gotta pay bills over here too. Matter of fact, we can use some donations, whether they come live on the show or whether they come after the show. Hit us up. Hit us with a super chat. I'll start putting the Nomad Network cash app up here because we do have to pay some bills over here. Starting to get a little dicey, man. We need some help. Just wanted to put that out there and give it to Kids, man. Pass it around to you, man, for some pleasantries before we get ready to get out of here.
Hey, man. Sunday night, Nomad at Night. Thank you for rocking with us. By all means, jump over to Kids the Canuck right here on YouTube. Give a guy a thumbs up. Give a guy a comment or two as we walk our way out of this episode. Thanks again for hanging out with us on both sides of the fence, whether you're at Kids the Canuck now, like MC Fact.
Time out, Kids.
What's up?
I gotta read this last comment. According to Pro Football Reference, Zach Thomas was 5'11". I don't know who Pro Football Reference is, but get that goddamn app the fuck up out your system. Don't even go back to that app no more. If that app put him at 5'11", that's a bullshit app. Ain't no way. Man, that guy's knee high to a grasshopper. Straight up, man. That dude wasn't no 5'11", man, he'd be 5'11" with a pair of 70 stacks on, and then when he wouldn't get to that point. But go ahead, man. My fault.
All right, sorry. We're just tearing down poor Zach Thomas, man. Shout out to you, Zach Thomas. It's okay if you're wearing the lifts. They'll leave you alone. They won't attack you with the lifts. Anyways, Seinfeld reference. That being said, man, let me give a little bit of love to the folks who came and hung out with us. We'll start out with some of the folks over at Kansas Canuck, like the good minister Charles Johnson, Rex Gray, shout out to you, Rex. Andy Spencer, shout out to you, brother. MC Fact was with us over there as well. Then I got to start out over here with my guy, the Bishop, who's hanging out. Always good to have the Bishop rocking and rolling with us. Big shout out to Richard Long, Dr. Earl. Big ups to you for sure. Special shout outs to my guy, it's Crimson with the Wrench, as well as Joseph Matusak, who's hanging out with us. It's been a minute since we've seen Joseph. Super good to have Joseph around. And Joseph, you were instrumental in the chat and definitely instrumental in today's episode. It was great to hear your take on where we are right now as a franchise. And I think I'm pretty much line of sight with you all the way down the line, man. So thanks again for coming through. Thanks for blessing the chat with your opinions and thoughts. Big shout out to Jojo Loco, who's out there with us. Dobbsy 34 is also with us. Mr. Mayhem was rocking with us as well. BT9, that's Bear Truth 9. He was down with us in the chat tonight too. Always good to have you, Bear Truth, man. Shout out to you, brother. Who else is out there? King Book of World, man. King Book of World with the wrench. He's a Supernova maniac. You should also be one too. By all means, jump in and join. Give us a little bit of love as you go. Big shout out to the guy. The kids call me Boss. Shout out to you, man. He was all over the chat as well. The Scrolls was with us for sure, man. Same thing with AC Adam. Big ups to both of them. Always good to have you guys hanging out with us for sure, especially on a Sunday night, keeping it real, talking all good things Bears. Who else is out there with us? Am I missing anybody? Definitely missing some folks here. Oh, Patty, Laura, and Junior were with us tonight. Super good to have both of you guys. Haven't kicked it with y'all in a little bit. Awesome to have you. Ron C in the place to be. Ron C's with us. Kenny's out there with us too. Who else, man? Let me see if I'm missing. Oh, the Harriet's Bear Gooch is out there too. Shout out to you, sir. Big ups, big ups. Shout out to my guy Triple R is in Samo, man. Shout out to both y'all. Good to have you guys. Always good to shout out the fam. Shout out to Dude. Big ups to the Dude as well, man. Haven't seen the Dude out there in a minute, but want to give him a little bit of love. Bears fan Goomba was with us tonight too. So was Bear with me. Who else, man? Oh, Marlon Johnson is also a Supernova maniac. One more again. You should be a Supernova maniac as well. By all means, follow the instructions right there on the Nomad Network and join. Big ups to Levante Rogers. He's with us tonight. Had some great comments in the chat too. Who else, man? Smitty Q hung out with us tonight too. Shout outs to you, Smitty. Big ups to Dan Brown and Ron Winarski. Ron came through and kicked it with us for a little bit too. Who else, man? Anybody else? Chi-Town Jester was with us. I think that might just about. Oh, no. Yeah, that might just about. Oh, King George. Shout out to King George and Rex Smith. And yeah, I think that does it. All right. So big ups to all y'all. Shout out to my guy Nomad for putting it down one more time, a couple of minutes early without me because I was still working on the website. Shout out to Dante Purify before we get out of here as well. Shout out to you, Dante. By all means, pay attention to our guy's site, Sports Chicago Style. That's for Triple R, where he does all his craziness with all the different personalities that he has bouncing around his skull.
Hey, speaking of that, kids, I gotta say, man, I think words get into algorithm, man, and if you're speaking to him, like AI is advancing so far, and so all of a sudden, like 2 days ago, I'm scrolling on Facebook, like on my regular personal Facebook account, just scrolling. I hate to get on Facebook sometimes because it seems like Facebook is all about who just died. It's like it's like I don't know what it is, but all of a sudden, like a couple of days ago, I'm seeing all these goddamn websites or channels and shit. I'm like, what the fuck? What is this? I'm not Triple R. I am not Triple R. and it's feet, 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 feet. I'm just like, what is going on? But shout out to Triple R and Sports Chicago style, man. Golly.
Shout out to everyone's feet as well. Just put that out there. We all have them. Some of us like them more than others. The algorithm is crazy. The Google monster is always looming in the distance, and you should, I don't know what you do. You get rid of your phone, lock it up, but it's definitely listening to everything we're saying, and we'll see what my Facebook looks like tomorrow. That's for sure. Shout out to Omar86 and Black Diamond to get out of here and close it all down. But one more time, man, shout out to Sports Chicago Style. By all means, give him a like, share, subscribe. Check me out again, Keza Canuck, and bless this man with a little bit of love as well, too. There's a little bit of thumbs up out there if you can. We appreciate it.
Hey, shout out to Richard Long. We're going to do some AI experiments up in here soon. Maybe we'll do that on some Extra Sauce Wednesday and just ask them some general questions just to see what kind of response we get, just so we can have something to talk about, because AI is, I think that's a beast we're going to have to, I don't know if we can tame that thing, man. I think it's a thing right now. But let's just say, if not put in the right place, the thing can get out of hand, and I don't want to get too scary about it. But AI it's a powerful tool, and it's very, very useful in its pure form. When it gets out of hand is when sick-minded individuals take it to another level where it doesn't supposed to go, where it's not meant to go. And so we might have to wrestle with that in our very, very near future. And I say very, very near future. I'm talking about maybe tomorrow or the next day or the day after that. Man, I mean, it is. I'm learning to use it a little bit more. Matter of fact, I'll tell you guys a little quick story before we get out of here. My girlfriend is she's getting ready to become a CNA. She used to work in a totally different field than medical and this area. And I really, we spent a lot of time. We spent years, in fact, dealing with her mother, who had dementia / Alzheimer's, and we went through a sacred experience with her. And I've said this before, I'll say it again for all the people that just got to the channel. She went through Lewy body dementia, and that dementia is when you'll have outbursts and outbursts and outbursts because that membrane over your brain, the frontal lobe, is no longer there. That's the stuff that stops you from, submitting to your worst instincts. So if you have a desire to go in, you got a 9mm and you want to go shoot someone or something like that, that membrane is your better judgment in front of your frontal lobe. That eroded away on her brain. So her worst instincts, luckily for us, was just screaming. It was just screaming. For the last couple of months of her life, 2 or 3 months of her life, that lady screamed and screamed and screamed 24 hours a day until we gave her enough medicine to put her down. And then when we put her down, that lasted no more than an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, 3 if we got lucky. That was the amount of time we had to sleep during that time. During that time, I was still doing work at the bar room. That was over. And then I started trying to get this channel together. And all that time while I was trying to do that, that lady was in the very back part of my house screaming at the top of her lungs. Like, you go down all the way down to the end of this block and you'll still hear that lady screaming. All day, every day. When I say it was a sacred experience for us, it was absolutely sacred. And so from that experience, I convinced my girlfriend to go and, give what you can to this field, because there are people out there that need your know-how. What you just experienced just prepared you for something. And it's right along the lines where, if you want to, if you're an entry-level individual, that if you're a lady especially, or even a man, if you want to start off somewhere to do something different than you've been doing, healthcare feel is a great place to start. It's a great place to start. And she wanted to switch up what she had been doing. And she said, I don't care where I have to start. I'll start doing this, but I want to help people. And she decided, and she had it in her. And I watched her take care of her mother for several years here in this house. And I was a, I was a caretaker with it. It was a job, you know. But this life that we have to live, you never know what hand is going to be dealt to you. And it's about what you do with the hand that's dealt to you. This is tomorrow is tomorrow. And if you get there, you don't know what hand you're going to be dealt. What do you do with that? What do you do with that? With somebody that has dementia, and you know for a fact that it's going to get worse and worse and worse. Your average person is going to put that person, if they have the resources in a facility, which we had the resources. We could have done that. My girlfriend told me, this is no way I'm putting my mother's care in somebody else's hands. I don't know what could happen to her there. And it was many times when, physically and emotionally, she would take you there. She would take you to a place where if you don't have the proper know-how and the proper understanding and the proper patience, someone like that would make you hurt them. Literally. That could be your mother, your dad, your grandpa, your grandma in some facility where it's convenient. If you have the resources to just send them there so you don't have to deal with it. Can you live with that? Personally, if it was me or my mom, I can't live with that. The turmoil and the torment that I had to go through with her and her mother was sacred. But I put up with that because she was willing to put up with it with her mother. And I told her I would support her no matter what she did. That is real. And everybody out here within the sound of my voice should understand that. These are the things that we have to do and have to confront in the days of our lives. Might be tomorrow for you. It might be next week for you. It might be next month, next year. But trust and believe me, some unforeseen circumstance in your life is going to come, and you should get ready for it. You should get ready for it. I would just say that to you. I don't even know how I got here, but my spirit took me here. I think we started talking about something else in this close, but that's where my spirit and that's where my energy went. I want you all to be well out here, be loved, love somebody. And I hope, in this climate that we live in, that we can find some kind of way to find that kaleidoscope, man, and be well within that kaleidoscope of people. We can love each other. We can share with each other. We can trade with each other. We can try to understand each other. Like I met a Sikh Indian person a year or so ago, maybe 2 years ago. I never really met and known a Sikh Indian person. And I tried to learn about him. He was a dark-skinned brown man. That wasn't the commonality that I saw in him, but I saw that guy sitting on the other end of a bar trying to have a drink by himself, and he had what looked like a skirt on or something like that. Normally, you go in a situation like that, you're average. When I say average, you're simple-minded individual that runs right to rhetoric in his brain that he's seen somewhere or experienced somewhere, takes him to a place, and he can't get past that because he's not sophisticated enough. Get past that rhetoric that he's seen or heard somewhere and go out and be an inviting individual to that man and go be company to that man at the bar. I went down there and I started talking to him. And I was so amazed at what that man had to talk to me about. He was so glad that I was willing to come down there and sit by him because of his garb. He was surprised that I wasn't judgmental about him because of what he believed in. The thing is, I wasn't surprised. I know my character. I know my character. When I see somebody feeling like, okay, they just want to fit in, but they don't know how to fit in, and they don't want to approach a situation where it might get kind of otherwise as far as the situation goes, I can understand that. I felt that energy and I went by and I said something to him. He brought himself over into the crowd. And there was a couple of people in the crowd that I was in that was looking at him funny. But the crowd that I was around knew. They know me. It's just like they knew that, hey, you better not act funny with him. You better not. If you act funny with him, I'll act funny with your ass. We're not going to mistreat somebody because they're not like us. We're going to reel him in because he's not like us and try to understand him. That's the love and respect I have for people individually. And when you hate, who do you hate? Are you trying to hate me? Or do you hate your damn self? Because you can't find it in you. You don't have it in you socially, intellectually, to have conversations that are uncomfortable to you about beliefs, thoughts, stereotypes. We better. I can tell you that right now. We are way better than what we put on the surface right now. And I guarantee you this, we better start fucking acting like it too. We better start acting like it or be at each other's throats. Neighbor to neighbor, person to person. Ain't no working no more. Ain't no going to no job because we'll get you there or you'll try to get me there. You want to live that life? No social services. Nothing but pure fucking violence. Because somebody is taking us down that path. And they want that. Because that's how they achieve control. Forcing you to be violent towards each other. That's medieval, primeval, caveman thinking. Got to find another way. You got to think. You got to think. You got to think and find some compassion in you. That's the way to a healthy, happy life, man. I'm sorry if I went on too long, but I had to get that out of my system. That needed to be said. You know, these are real things that go on in everybody's life. That's real. What I just got through describing to you all in my life. And, you know, this is what it was. But more importantly, what it's going to be is what we set it up to be. Don't be no asshole out here. Find a reason. Find a reason. Love you all, no maniacs, super no maniacs. Love you all from the bottom of my heart. I really do. We cannot still be sitting here having these podcasts after all this time and having all this love and support without you all. Just want you to know we're glad that you're there to hear us and to put up with us because we go through things just like the next person. It's great doing these podcasts, but that's the real human outside of Bear's content nomad that this is. This is the real human I am. Kez knows this personally, man. We talk about this kind of stuff all the time, but we love you. And I'm speaking for both of us right about now. We love you all. Keep on coming back and keep on supporting everything you got. Bring it to us and we'll reciprocate it right back to you. And I got to leave you all with these famous words. If you can think it and you can see it, there's no reason in the world why you cannot absolutely manifest it. Do not, and I repeat, do not be a prisoner of your own mind. But with that being said, we are